Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, good morning.
Last second notes, that means he's in big trouble.
What are you working on?
Somebody's scrambling.
Hold on. I got this good
do
stuff.
their homework.
No, I got this.
Somebody's in big
trouble.
trouble.
I remember something last night.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? You know how you doing a test, Skip, and you remember like, oh yeah, and then you go all the way back. Like, yeah.
Funny how you remembered that after he glanced at my notes.
No, I can't read that.
Right?
I can't read that mess.
Skip, I have no idea what's going on there. No idea. But it looks like you're prepared. So let's get on with the show today. Busy show. Guys, I want to talk about this. Does Drake need to chill out a little bit? Is he a little bit too much? We'll talk about that. Snoop Dogg will be in studio with us later. Can't wait, but we start with number 2. The Raptors are 7-point underdogs in Milwaukee tonight as they look for their 3rd straight win in the series. All eyes will be on Kawhi Leonard's latest mysterious injury. Kawhi limped his way through both of Toronto's home wins and only scored 19 points in Game 4, but he's been able to slow down the Greek freak on the defensive end. Coach Nick Nurse did not sound worried about his superstar because yesterday he said, quote, he's feeling good, no concerns at this point. So, Shannon, how concerned should Toronto be about Kawhi's health?
I believe they should be very concerned. Skip, there's something clearly wrong with this young man. I don't believe I didn't see him this hobbled in Orlando. I didn't see him this hobbled in Philly. But all of a sudden now we're to believe that everything is A-OK with him. Skip, he's playing since the start of the Philly series. He's averaging 40 minutes a night. And those are not 40 minutes a night just on the offensive end. He has a very tough assignment because he was guarding the team's other best players. He had Ben Simmons on occasion. He took Jimmy Butler. And this series, he spent a lot of time guarding Giannis. Giannis is not playing very well when he's matched up against Kawhi. So they're asking an awful lot of him. But I think here's the big reason. Skip, you know in the regular season, the most consecutive games he played was 9. Since the start of the playoffs, we're at 16. So we're asking him to do something. He's played 34 minutes a game in the regular season. Now he's 39.5 in the playoffs.
Is that just because he's so fragile? Or what are we talking about?
I
don't know, because I've never heard of this before.
Right. It might be. He's fragile, and now you're asking him, look, it's like having a 30-year-old car and trying to drive cross country. Yeah, it might look nice. It might be a classic. But do you really want to trust it to drive cross country? Yeah, he's an all-time great player. But, Skip, there's a reason why he missed 22 regular season games, and a lot of it was because of what? The old load management. They were preparing for this. And even though they prepared by giving him 22 days off, maybe some he earned, but there's a reason why they gave him a lot of load management, because they knew this day would come, these days were coming. Also, what's working against him, you're playing every other day. You know, in the first round, you might get 2 days. You probably might get 3 at the most. So you got enough ample time to recover. You're going every other day. And Golden State's just sitting back. They got their heels kicked up. Just resting, just waiting on somebody to bash them in. He doesn't have that luxury. I know what Nick Nurse is saying. He said everything is good, and that's what he's supposed to say. He doesn't want to put that, he doesn't want to, like, he's making excuses if they don't win, if Kawhi doesn't play well. I get that. But Kawhi Leonard, he's laboring. He's hurt. I know that. I don't believe he's faking. And if I'm a Raptors fan, I'm very concerned, even though Nick Nurse, the head coach, is trying to reassure me that everything's okay.
So,
okay.
Obviously, I do not love this guy because obviously I believe with all my heart and soul he quit on my Spurs last year under these same circumstances of mysterious injury, hurt, not hurt. I opt last year on not hurt at all. Okay. I opt on thigh bruise at worst that you could play with, and he sat for 73 games as he was cleared game after game after game by the most conservative, player-friendly medical staff in all of sports, the Spurs staff. So here we go. I'm watching my worst nightmare all over again. But today I'm trying to be open-minded to your take on it. You're saying he's hurt. You are convinced, heart and soul, he is hurt.
Right.
Because he is the limping legend. We have seen him limp through the last 2 games.
Yeah.
He dunks, and he limps. He explodes to the basket, he lifts, and he limps.
He kind of looked like Kurt Gibson rounding those bases.
Okay, all right. But Kurt Gibson had a pulled hamstring. And I'm pretty sure he was hurt because he didn't play the whole game until he pinch hit in the bottom of the ninth against Dennis Eckersley.
Yeah.
Okay? This is different because this coach, Nick Nurse, and he's a first-year coach, he is giving him no breaks on injuries. He's giving him zero excuse. He's not even giving a hint that this guy has any issue. And I'm going to say it again. Another day has passed without number 2 appearing on the Raptors' official injury report. There's no hint of a knee, of a thigh, of a calf. There's no hint of anything on the official injury report. Not one little word has come out of the head coach's mouth that indicates he's anything but just fine. He said yesterday he's absolutely okay. He is good to go. Period. End of story. Just to juxtapose that, could I quickly read a quote from Nick Nurse yesterday on his 5-time All-Star Kyle Lowry, who's playing with a busted thumb, a left thumb injury, on which he's wearing something that looks like an oven mitt, and he's still getting you 31 game and 25 last game. Here's the quote from Nick Nurse on Kyle Lowry. Kyle's hand is not great. It's hurt, and it's sore, and it causes him a lot of pain. But he seems to be able to manage it through the game and do what he can do. He's obviously scoring and playing great on top of the other things he always does, and we're really seeing a heck of a lot of toughness. And again, the spirit that he just wants to be out there and help his team any way he can. Why would he gush about the toughness, the grit, the play through the pain that he's seeing from his 5-time All-Star, yet he will give no quarter, no qualm, he gives no hint of injury to number 2? Why would that be? And I'll take it a step further in the bigger picture. I'm going to guess here that Nick Nurse is on his way to running number 2 straight out of town. Am I right?
Yeah, okay, now you're talking.
Number 2 needs the excuse. He wants his Greg Popovich, his new pop, to back him, to say, oh, he's gotten it. He wants this quote that I just read on Kyle Lowry to be about him. Well, and he's getting zero from his head coach or his medical staff. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. But I believe, Skip, it's easier to play if you're a basketball player with an injury on your non-shooting hand than it is to play with lower extremity injuries.
Okay, fine. Still, why? I'm going to give you this one more time, and you couldn't answer it yesterday because the truth is there's no good answer for this.
So you believe? So in other words, he's faking. You and Nick Nurse.
Time out. Okay, just remember, actions spoke even louder than Nick Nurse's words because with 7:33 left in the game the other night, game 4, game 4, the second game in Toronto, they were up 16 mid-4th quarter.
Okay.
It's becoming a blowout. I'm not saying it had gone all the way into full-on blowout, but it's becoming a blowout. If he's trying to hide an injury that number 2 has suffered or protect him in any way, shape, or form, if he did say after the game he's tired. Well, if he's tired and you've got it all the way to 16, why would you reinsert him into the basketball game? You just wouldn't.
Because here's the thing, Skip. I don't know if you watched that game closely.
Did I watch the game closely? I live and die with every game.
You saw they were up 16 in the second quarter, and they cut it to 2. Okay. They were 16 in the third quarter, and they cut it to 2.
Okay, but if you have lower leg extremity issues going on, you just suck it up if you're the coach and you bite your lip and you hope that you can figure out how to get it home and not risk hurting him more.
Well, you figure out how you can get it home. Let me put Kawhi back in there. Let me see if I can get it to 22-24, and then I can get him out, say, with 4 minutes. Okay, that's what happened. They were able to get Kawhi out of the ball game. Skip, there's no way that this young man, if this is, he should be in Hollywood. He should quit basketball because this is the greatest acting job
okay,
in the
I'll
history.
give you acting job. I'm going to say, I've used this story once before a long time ago on the show. I'm going to say it again. This is going back to his final year in San Antonio. This was in January. The situation hadn't turned full-on ugly just yet. But number 2 had been cleared by that medical staff for full basketball activity. with what had been termed as a thigh contusion first. This is thigh contusion. So I spoke to a doctor I have known for a long time who had carefully examined that thigh, and I'm just telling you what he told me. You can take it or leave it, but he told me, I can find nothing wrong with his thigh. I think it's all in his head. That's what he told me. That was quote unquote from a guy I've known for a long time. Okay. I know him very well. And that means it's psychosomatic. That means you're imagining that you have an injury. And he didn't know anything about pressure, whatever. Then I extrapolated that into he's just feeling the huge new heat of this was supposed to be his year, his team, with our man Chris Broussard saying he's going to win MVP this year. And I thought he was crumbling under that pressure. Now, bottom line to this story, that doctor then called me back about a month later and he said, well, and he took the party line. And he said, I am finding a little issue in there, and he called it tendinosis. Yeah. And I said, well, what is tendinosis? Well, he's got a little bit of inflammation in there somewhere, and it was hazy to me, and it wasn't convincing what he told me. It felt like he had been told by the people above him, make it clear to everybody on the outside he does have some kind of issue because they were afraid he was going completely south, as in, I'm not going to play another game for you because you don't believe me. Right. So I'm seeing it all over again. They believed, Tony Parker believed, Manu Ginobili believed in the end, that he was just imagining the injury. I don't know if there's a difference between faking or imagining. I don't know. Maybe he believes in his head that he has something going wrong because he's crumbling under the pressure to win Game 3 and Game 4 at home when they're down 0-2. Could be. That's just my take. What about because the movement doesn't show me lower leg injury.
Okay, well, Skip, what about the pressure to win when they were down, when they had lost the second game going to Philly? Mm-hmm. What was the pressure? Why didn't he start letting
it wasn't the conference finals yet, yet.
But hold on. If they have the second best record, they had the second best record in all of basketball.
Okay, but remember, it was 1-1 after when they went to Philly.
Right.
And then
it was 2-1.
2-1, and then they won a game
exactly.
in Philly.
So why didn't he start limping when
because
it was 2-1?
The pressure had mounted. The pressure, when you're down 0-2 at going home, now the world had said, remember, the world hadn't yet proclaimed him the MVP of the playoffs until he hit the luckiest shot in the history of the world. Then everybody leaped on the bandwagon and say, aha, number 2 is winning it all. He is the new guy. He's the new LeBron James.
The thing is, Skip, this is what I know. After playing NFL football for 14 years, nobody knows your body like you know it. Now, I know what doctors, and they went to school. They did residencies, and they spent the better part of their life studying the body and knowing. But when they give you a diagnosis, and when they give you a prognosis, says you should be able to come back in 6 to 8, or 8 to 12, or 6 months, that's their best guess educated. Okay. That's their best educated guess. There's no guarantee, Skip. It might take me 9 months. It might take me a full year. Okay. So with that being said,
I can argue the other side of that because you might be reading something in that's not there at all because you don't know either. You can say, I don't know, but you don't know either.
But no. But I'm saying it's hard for me to believe in this situation, given the fact that, look, I just think it's you and maybe the Spurs that believe that Kawhi was not injured to the extent that he said he was.
Remember, most player-friendly basketball team in the world. They do nothing but say rest. But
Kawhi
until they finally said, no, it's time for you to play.
And Kawhi says, no, I know my body and I'm not feeling well. So he shut it down.
He wasn't feeling well when he got to Toronto this year. He sat 22 games this year.
Okay.
And I think it was on the injury report that he had a thigh issue going on. So we're right back to where we were.
Well, maybe, Skip, maybe it's something that's going to linger for the rest of his career.
Maybe.
Maybe he's fragile. Maybe he's going to have these lower leg injuries. He's going to have to somehow find a way to play through or play around.
Okay. So one of two things was happening the other night because to my eye, watching my television, and maybe I need a new one, I saw explosion and lift that looked good as new to me. Then I would see limp down the court. And he did score 19 with 7 rebounds and 4 steals. You have to have some ability to push off to even get those numbers. So to my eye, I'm thinking, gee, I'm still seeing the old number 2. I'm seeing, yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I was seeing it because you can't put up those numbers if you are limping through the possession with the basketball,
Yes,
and I didn't see it.
Yes, Skip, we saw Isaiah have a historic fourth quarter on a bum ankle.
Okay, but he was playing. I was there. I was in the front freaking row.
Yeah.
I was there. I wrote about it.
But Skip,
and it was as gutsy a performance because he turned it completely over because you could see it. Right. I could see the replay. He turned it on its side. It looked like it could be broken. It could be ligament damage.
Yes.
Okay, so he sucked it up and just toughed it out. And I've had ankles, you've had ankles.
Yeah.
And you can't, but you can just say, I'm going to do this.
Right.
And I think he got injected. I'm pretty sure he got a halftime injection.
Something.
And you can push through that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so one of two
I
things.
know about injections in ankles.
Well, I got it. So one of two things happened the other night. Either he's exaggerating his injury, or he's one of the toughest men to ever come down the pipe.
I believe he's one of the toughest ones.
So he's
and
just
adrenaline,
toughing it out.
Yep, and adrenaline does amazing things to the body.
So now to the bigger picture again. If he is one of the toughest to ever play the game and he sucked it up and toughed it out, why wouldn't his coach gush about him after the game for his toughness of playing through pain? Because he gives him nothing. Right. And if you're trying to keep him in Toronto and the whole push of the whole city is, we need you, we want you, we'll do anything to keep you. All the restaurants are offering him lifetime passes. You can have free food here in any restaurant in town for the rest of your life if you will stay.
It ain't that good for me to make that kind of commitment.
Well, you're probably right about that. Although in your case, I don't know. You might think twice.
I mean, L.A., Toronto ain't got better food than L.A.
No.
We can give him
good food.
we can give him lifetime up in here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
We can go to Roscoe's. We can go to Serving Spoon. We can go wherever you want to go. Give him lifetime.
You know what? I think Toronto would have issue with what you just said.
Toronto will be okay.
It is an international city.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're international city too.
LA is not known for its cuisine. I got to tell you, it's not really.
Not?
No.
Yeah, we're more known for our cuisine than Toronto. What's Toronto known for?
Well, I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know it that well, but
and
it's
that's what Kawhi said. Kawhi doesn't even know what it's.
Okay, but the point is, if you're Nick Nurse, the first-year head coach, shouldn't you be gushing about how hurt he is and how tough he is mentally?
Yeah,
because that's the only way to keep him.
He should. But being a first-year head coach, he doesn't understand the rules of this, Skip. You know how this thing works out. Even though you might not believe it that he's injured, you say all the right things. Man, that's a tough son of a gun.
Okay.
Woo,
you know what I'd do if I were the Toronto medical staff to keep him? I would list him every night as dying. He's dying, right? No, well, seriously. Well, you would, because you give him what he needs, what he wants.
He don't need anything.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Well, again, Danny Green.
He needs rest.
You used the quote yesterday, but I got it right here from Danny Green. And again, I know Danny very well.
Yeah.
And the reason he was included in that trade,
He's a good player.
He's a good player. He is a very good player, but he was the one Spur who was the closest to number 2.
Right. Sure.
He was the one Spur who could communicate directly and convincingly.
And he was the only one that didn't sell him out. Okay. Like Tony Parker and Manu. They sold him out.
Well, they called him out.
Sold him out.
They put him on the spot and he couldn't take the
Kawhi should have put a pause on him.
Okay.
Both of them.
He might be able to pull that off on one of them, but the other one, he would not be able to win that.
Oh, who? Manu?
Oh, he couldn't be.
Oh, you think Manu, because Manu swatted a bat out there, and now all of a sudden he kung fu.
He'd swat number 2 right out of the air and take him outside and release him.
No.
That's what he would do.
That's hard. He's from L.A. You know how them L.A. players do it.
So here's the Danny Green quote, and again, this didn't surprise me at all, but think how opposite this is from Nick Nurse and the Toronto medical staff. Danny Green says, of number 2, he's playing through pain. He can't even celebrate baskets because of how painful it is. You dunk on a guy like Giannis and you are worried about your knee. It shows you that he's fighting. We're going to need him to fight through the rest of the series.
That's not how Danny Green said that.
That's what he was saying.
Stop for dramatic effect.
We need him to fight through the pain.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I'm not so sure about
Should Nick Nurse be ashamed of himself?
Yes, and as a matter of fact, it's only 1 year into his coaching career, and I'm already tired of Nick Nurse. I've had it up to here, Skip.
Really?
Yes, I've had it up to here with him. Because he's not a doctor. He's trying to diagnose. You just coach.
The Lowry thing did shift my opinion a little bit, because why would you say so much about someone and so little
Because he
about
don't know
your
any
star?
better. And plus, Skip, he has a relationship. How long has he been the assistant with Dwayne Casey? And Kyle Lowry's been there, so he probably has a different relationship than Kawhi.
I would agree.
But that's why Kawhi don't talk to him.
Well, remember, it's hard for any coach to have any relationship
we don't
with
want to
number
talk.
two.
Well, look, this is we're not in an extemporaneous speaking class.
Okay.
I'm here to play basketball. Let Kawhi play basketball, and when he raises his hand and says, "Hey, coach, I'm hurt," he says, "Okay, you need a night off." But see, in the playoffs, you can't get a night off. He played 9 consecutive games in the That's the most. He's almost double that. He's going to double that, Skip.
So next year, when he's in the midst of missing 12 straight games, and they ask LeBron, because he's a new Laker, like, what do you think of what's going on with number two?
When he get
LeBron's going to say, "Don't ask me. I've never spoken a word to the guy."
Oh, yeah, LeBron speaks to him all the time.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but that's neither here nor there. Look, Kawhi is injured, contrary to what you and Nick Nurse think.
And the Toronto doctors.
I don't care about them Toronto doctors.
You don't?
And I know they're well qualified, but Kawhi knows his body better than any doctor. They're his body, not their body.
Really? Well, all I know is that number two is 2 games away from hitting the open market, and I think he's going to hit it running.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not limping. He's going to run.
Oh, so in other words, you said Milwaukee going to win it, huh?
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I'll give you this. Tonight is a legacy game for number two. This is one where...
No, this is a legacy game for Giannis.
Well, either way, but I'm just saying, if this guy could tough it up, tough it out, gut through it on the road, if he comes up bigger than Giannis does again...
Skip, he can't. Giannis can't pull a James Harden.
Okay.
Lose game 5 on his home court and then go on the road and lose game 6 and be out because I believe he'll win the MVP. Now, you and I have been going back and forth, and I know you thought like I thought.
Regular season.
And you don't want that on your resume in the regular season, and then you take that L when you're up 2-0.
Okay.
I don't know. The Bucks haven't lost 3 in a row all season, so this is a team that, obviously home court advantage, but they're also pretty upset with Drake lately, guys.
I'm upset with him too.
The Bucks are picking fights with Drake, and his sideline behavior has been interesting. We'll discuss that next. Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM. We will be right back.
No mercy.
Hey everyone, Jenny Taft here with a quick word from Ancestry DNA. Ever wonder where your family comes from? You can discover more about them and learn about your story by combining the Ancestry DNA test with billions of historical family records. Ancestry DNA gives you so much more than just the places you are from. Ancestry connects you to the places in the world where your story started using precise geographic detail and clear-cut historical insights. You can even trace your ancestors' journeys over time, following how and why your family moved from place to place. And to amplify your results, you can start a free trial on Ancestry and build a tree so your ancestors become more than just a name. They've combined DNA results with over 100 million family trees and billions of records to give you more insight into your genealogy and origins. Only Ancestry can tell you such a rich story with unique features that give a more complete picture about a person, like events that shaped them, how they made a living, and what they excelled in. It's so easy to get started. I cannot wait to see my results. This is something I've always wanted to do. See where I'm from, learn more about my family. And they make it so easy. It's a simple saliva test. You pop it in the mail, and you get your results back. It's that easy. Go to Ancestry.com/undisputed today for 20% off your Ancestry DNA kit. That's Ancestry.com/undisputed for 20% off your Ancestry DNA kit. Ancestry.com/undisputed.
No mercy.
The only Toronto Raptor under more scrutiny than number 2 right now is actually a Toronto rapper. Drake instantly upset Bucks fans everywhere by pacing the sidelines throughout Game 4, trolling the Greek Freak, and even giving his coach a little massage to break the tension, guys. Bucks coach Mike Budenholzer wasn't thrilled, saying there's no place for non-players or coaches to ever be on the court. And one of Giannis's reps called Drake disrespectful. Drake laughed off all the hate by calling the Bucks salty on Instagram. So Shannon, whose side are you on here?
I'm on the Bucks side.
The Bucks?
Still let me finish.
The Bucks stopped.
You're not going to give Drake any? Nothing?
No.
Okay, he's on the Bucks side.
Look, it's great, Skip. I understand, Toronto, they got someone that's so popular, that's well-renowned. Everybody knows who he is, and he's at their games, and I get all that. But he out of pocket for this. It's too much now. It ain't about him. They don't come to the game to see Drake. and his antics.
I don't know about that.
do know. I know. Can you imagine in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s if Jack Nicholson was massaging Pat Riley? If he was on the court doing all this foolishness? What about, hold on, I'll give you one even better. What about Spike Lee? What if Spike Lee was all on the court? Spike sits in his chair, class, yeah, he gets into it. I got no problem getting into it. But these antics, Skip, you know they're too much. You know they're... Look here, don't worry about it. See, one of them players need to go ahead and have, hey, look here, man, throw the ball over my head in Drake's direction. I'm gonna run full speed. I got a little something for it. I'm gonna stop all that clowning. Oh, you wanna be seen? Oh, yeah, you gonna be seen, because I'm finna run slap over you. Skip, you know this out of pocket now. You know he wrong for this. These antics, he up there, all the clapping, all on the sideline, like P did all up in everybody's video. The game is the game, and they don't need no sideline antics. Now, if you wanna perform, at halftime will be your opportunity. You could be like the red panel, you know, the lady that's on the tricycle, and she flipping the sauce bowls on top of her head. You want to do that, have at it. If you want to do like the dogs, the monkeys ride the dogs back, you want to perform at halftime, do that. But during the game, these antics are too much, Skip.
You sound like a Bucks fan.
I ain't nobody's fan, but I know these antics are too much.
Not a Drake fan over here.
I must admit I am a Drake fan, but beyond that, I have absolutely zero problem with any of his antics.
Whatever.
Now, do I believe that Adam Silver will somehow get him a message ahead of Game 6 that please try to contain your antics to within 2 or 3 feet of your seat?
No,
Maybe,
he ain't gonna say contain your antics. Sit you down.
Have you watched Spike Lee during games?
Yeah.
The difference is his seat is across the court from the benches, so
right.
he's on the far side.
Yeah.
So he's not within constant camera view of the two benches because you're seeing Drake far more than you probably should.
Yeah.
Because he's right in between the two benches and the two coaches are walking up and down. So you cannot help but notice Drake because the camera...
Why he can't sit down?
Okay, because A, he's a showman to start with.
Okay, well, say that.
B, I find him highly entertaining, especially during this series, and I have no problem with him clowning or trolling or whatever you want to call it, especially Giannis, when he airballs a free throw, the joke is on Giannis. Well, I know he's done two, but I'm just saying the other night, Drake just lost it, man, and I think he was genuinely LOL. He was laughing out loud, and then he was giving it the windmill like,
Exactly.
do it again.
First of all, Skip, what about the people that's behind him? I didn't pay good money.
Yeah.
Now, I
They
might
can
not
see
have,
just
paid the money you paid for your seat, but I paid good money for. Ooh, I wish I was
They
there.
paid for those seats in part so they could be near Drake.
No, they didn't.
Trust me.
No, they didn't. No, they
Yeah.
didn't. No, they didn't. Stop saying all that.
And by the
foolishness.
way, Jack Nicholson was, in his heyday, was one of the all-time great fan trash talkers. He
Yeah.
did it quietly. He did it directly. But remember, he was seated near the Laker bench.
Right.
So he's not near, I'm sorry, near the,
The
I'm backwards,
opposing.
near the opposing bench.
yes, the
So he wasn't within direct range where he could go rub Pat Riley's shoulders.
Well, all I know is that he wasn't up on the court with his sunglasses on, all with Magic doing something good, up there clapping, up there winding it up.
Okay, but he is constantly giving it to the opposing coach and giving it to the opposing players
I got a problem.
as they have to walk right past Jack Nicholson to get to their sideline huddle.
I ain't got no
he
problem.
is giving them an earful.
I ain't got no problem with it. He's
Okay.
sitting down. He ain't making it about him. I ain't
Okay.
got to see all them stats. Every time I get a camera shot of the coach, I wonder what the coach, here he is in the background photobombing everybody.
The
Okay.
I ain't
massage
played to
was
see that.
weird. The
Yeah.
massage was weird.
Okay, did he massage Budenholzer? No, he massaged his coach. And
That
it
ain't
was,
his coach.
it
not
was
on the
funny.
team.
Huh?
He's
Skip,
not on the team.
Drake does not have a jersey on.
He is part of the hierarchy. He is an official member of the Raptors as their #1 ambassador. I'm not sure he gets paid by them because he doesn't really need to get paid by them, but they should actually pay him to do what he does because he puts them on the national map.
They ain't on no national map.
Yes, they are because of him. Is he not the biggest thing in Toronto?
Yeah, he is. Okay,
Yes.
well, I tell you what, if he's so big, convince Kawhi to stay. Let's see him do that.
Well, it's hard to fight Nick Nurse. on
That
that.
is-
Nick
yeah,
Nurse is
exactly.
running him out of town.
He up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that's weird.
I do not think it's weird.
When have you ever seen somebody do that? Name the time you done covered 10,000 basketball games. Name the time you saw a fan, because that's what he is. I don't care what you call him. That's an ambassador is a fancy term for fan.
He thinks of himself higher than that.
Well, whatever he thinks himself. Name the time that you've seen it.
How many fans can just stroll right into the locker room after the game? How many? He can.
Well, I can do that to the Broncos and the Ravens. But you ain't see me all out there on the field, John Harbaugh in
Are
his
you
ear.
a fan? No, you're not a fan.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
You played. You're in the Hall of Fame.
I'm a fan, too.
You're not a fan.
I am a fan.
You're disqualified from your fandom because you're in the Hall of Fame representing the Denver Broncos.
So?
Right?
I represented both teams.
Did you?
Yes.
Well, that
Skip.
was not so gutsy of you.
What?
Pick a side. Pick a side. Come
Skip,
on.
okay.
Is it orange or purple? Which is it? You got to pick a side.
Most people know me for my career in Denver
I'd
because I played
say.
12 years there.
I'd say.
I played 2 in Baltimore.
Okay.
But I did win a chip in Baltimore.
Okay, you did, thanks to Ray Lewis.
That just it, there you go.
I mean, you rode some coattails of maybe the greatest defense ever.
Well, that's what he riding.
Okay.
Skip, you know, Skip, you know
they're
he
riding
wrong.
his coattails.
No, they
too.
not.
He gives them magnitude. He gives them aura. He gives them a mystique they would never have had.
So I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. So when people, the Raptors are on tonight, are they turning in to watch Toronto or they turning in to watch them antics on the sideline?
As soon as I think of Toronto Raptors, I think of Drake. I just do. I'm sorry. He's
I think of the baby dinosaurs. That's what I
Okay.
think.
You think of letdowns. You think of meltdowns,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. You remember
think of DeMar DeRozan.
You remember that? No, stop it. You remember that last year he had all those antics and LeBron was just giving it to him.
Okay.
You remember that?
So he massages his own coach's shoulders
So?
for like 1 second.
No.
It was just like one
That
grab.
was
But
that
it's
was
not
1 second.
his coach. He's
Okay,
not on the
okay,
team.
Okay, did that distract the Bucks?
Yeah, it distracted
no.
me.
Did that give the home team some advantage? No. It didn't.
Why can't he
It was
sit-
just entertaining.
Hold on.
And by the way, the game is going the other way. It is turning into a blowout.
I don't care. Why can't he sit his butt down? Just explain that.
You just sound like a Bucks fan. That's what.
I'm not a Bucks
He's just
fan.
irritating you.
He is irritated. He's irritated the Bucks too because his
I got
antics are unnecessary.
Yeah. Okay.
Apparently, Nurse didn't even notice it.
That's
He
what he
did
said.
say that he didn't even know.
Man, shut up, Nick. No, you see, Skip.
He's so locked in that he didn't notice it.
Had
And
no
he also
idea.
didn't notice the limping of number 2, I guess, because he's
Missed that as well.
giving him nothing.
I think Nick Nurse is full of caca.
Do you?
He up there talking about he didn't notice another man rubbing his shoulders in the game. I noticed everything.
It might have been like an air rub where you
You
just kinda like,
saw his jacket move. Skip, stop it. You see, you know he right.
Don't go up and sneak out on Shannon.
so in other words, I can see you right now standing on the sideline and Pop comes along, you rubbing Pop's shoulder.
I'm not a big Pop fan, to tell you the
I
truth.
can't picture that would ever happen.
I mean, can you imagine? So Spike, like I said, Spike and Jack, they love their team.
Spike goes out of his mind during games, jumping around, hopping around, getting up on his seat, and
Spike be sitting there clapping. Spike be sitting there clapping.
He goes crazy, and he should go
No,
crazy.
No. He went crazy when Reggie Miller did what he did and Scottie Pippen. That was it. Other than that, Spike, he trolling and bothering feet, but he ain't all out his seats. He ain't guys walk by, he all up in their face, clapping.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the like that Drake posted? It's the essence of what you always say about sports and trash talking and rubbing it in or running up the score or whatever you want to say.
Yes.
The essence is you can stop it one way and only one way, and that is just beat them. And that's all I got to say to the Bucks is next time they go back to Toronto for Game 6, all you do is win the basketball game and you will shut him up, right?
No.
That's how
should
you
sit
stop
down,
it.
He should sit down and be a fan. He's not, first of all, he's not a raptor. He's not one of the 12, 13 members of the basketball team. So he should never, ever be on the court.
But he's officially part of the franchise, right? I'll give you can't, there's one line you cannot literally cross. You can't set foot inside the field of play, in this case, the court, at any moment, even during a timeout.
Okay,
does
he do that?
He probably crosses occasionally, a step or two.
Don't do it. Skip, you see the man was almost at half court.
Okay, but he wasn't on the court.
Well, where's half court? It is. He is on the court.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He's just a few feet from his seat.
No, he ain't a few feet. Skip, the man in front of the scorer's table about to check in the game.
Okay, well, that was more entertaining than basketball.
No, it was not. No, it was
to
not.
me.
Skip, you need to stop this.
It was a wipeout.
First of all, it wasn't a wipeout at that point. His antics are unnecessary.
Do they work?
He's making
Yes.
it. Listen, Skip.
Do
Does
you
Drake
think
need any more
Bucks
attention?
are the Bucks aware of him in in large part because of his magnitude as a rapper and entertainer.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
And I'm sure some of them listen to his music.
You better believe they
But
do.
all I'm saying is, does he need any more attention?
Does it give them more home court advantage to have
No.
this set? Yes, hugely
Well,
more.
well, he was there the last 2 years when they got swept. What happened?
Mystique. He's got mystique. He can't overcome guys who just crumble.
Okay, then. So under that premise, he has no impact. All that dancing and carrying on in front of the camera.
Yeah, but he-
I did not turn it. Look here.
He can't overcome the best player on the planet.
Well, hold on.
Right? That's what you tell me.
What? How about this here? Why don't he go on the road? Jack and Spike went on the road. Why don't he go there? I don't see him at no road.
Sometimes
No,
they
he ain't nowhere. He only carried on these shenanigans in Toronto.
Okay.
Spike Lee would go to Indy. Spike Lee would go to Miami. Jack went to the Garden.
Occasionally he did.
Okay.
Not all the time, but occasionally.
No.
Yeah.
So when he gonna go on the road? Take that
I
show
don't
on the
know.
road.
Maybe he'll be there
Take
tonight.
that circus on the road.
I don't know.
fans
It's not
will be
really
very
that big a
receptive.
circus.
It is. It's a small
So
one.
he's just clowning a guy for shooting an air ball?
I'm not saying it's Ringling Brothers, but it's a small circus.
Small circus?
Yeah, they got a tiger and a bear.
Well, what
Well,
happens
maybe they got a
if you
tiger
take that
dressed
show
up as a
on,
bear.
on the road to some arenas, you might get hurt. You
Now,
know?
why are you gonna get hurt?
Okay.
Cause them antics are unnecessary. You parading around because you know they're gonna say, man, sit your butt down.
Yep.
It is entertaining.
And there's one other super fan that we haven't mentioned, entertainer, and that's my man Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
He goes to Philly, and remember what he did last year? He provoked Dwayne Wade
Yeah.
into beating his team in his building.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
He provoked him
But
through
he
the whole fourth
he
quarter.
provoked him from his seat.
Yeah.
Yes,
But he's
said-
just screaming at him.
Well, he
all
could have
kinds
been.
of.
I don't know. He's like 5 foot tall, so he could have been standing. But I think he was sitting. But that's neither here nor there. He was sitting down.
Gratuitous shot.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Okay.
But he wasn't Skip. He's not in the middle of. He's not at the scorer's table. He's not walking by guys walking by clapping in their face.
But he is screaming at Dwayne Wade all kinds of nonsense. You know it, and I know
And
it.
you know what happens when guys normally walk by? They're like, man, get out of here. You know, they normally just brush him off, and they'll be well within their rights. But that's unnecessary. You know it too. You just trying to get up under my skin this morning.
No, I'm not. It's just, it
Got you
sounds
going.
like sour grapes.
It ain't no sour grapes.
Yeah. Sounds like a team that got its butt kicked that needed an excuse.
Well, you know what they do with sour grapes?
Yeah.
They make wine.
They
and we
do.
about to have Drake whining. I bet you that.
Are you?
I bet you that.
I'm just glad that we have Snoop Dogg here later because we can ask him about
Yeah,
this.
we gonna ask Snoop. Is
I'd
that
like
acceptable?
to know what he has to say about this.
Completely acceptable.
No, it's not
It
acceptable.
worked.
Well, you know, that'll be coming up later.
Drake is worth like 2 points in Vegas at home. Vegas would give you
He's-
2 points advantage because he's on your sideline.
Well, he need to go on the road because they underdogs by 7.
By 6.5.
No mercy.
We're moving on to the Cowboys. Now I'm picturing Skip now walking the Cowboys sideline. But I guess
Yeah.
that's a different discussion for a different day. All right, the Cowboys are currently in negotiations with Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper as they try to lock up their young stars. Yahoo reported that it's actually Stephen Jones, not Jerry Jones, that's now running the show in Dallas. Apparently, Stephen has been making all of the big decisions the last 3 years. One NFL agent said this: Jerry used to just pay everyone. Now he says all these nice things about a player, but Stephen ends up being the one who decides when and how they get their money, or if they get paid at all. Compared to Jerry, Stephen is so cheap too. He doesn't want to pay big deals without a fight. Shannon, is this a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing. Skip, I don't really have a problem with him being a tough negotiator. He should fight to hold on to the money. But for him to come out, you never heard Jerry say this. The guys have earned their money, but they need to take a discount. They need to give us a discount. Jerry paid, and in return, what he got for paying the guys the big bucks was undying loyalty. If those guys were injured in the slightest, they're going out there to lay it on the line for Jerry. There's nothing those guys wouldn't do for Jerry when it came to getting on the field and winning the ball game. In return, Jerry paid them handsomely. Stephen, on the other hand, he wants that kind of loyalty, but he's not going to get what his dad got, Skip, because, yeah, these guys, and he said it. Oh, these guys have earned big paydays. They've been unbelievable. But they need to give us a discount. That's not how Jerry did business.
That is not.
And Jerry was rewarded. Look, and people are like, well, they have a salary cap. The salary cap went into place in '93. So Jerry's been working on a salary cap for 25 years. Well, they say the last 3 years, Stephen, and the rest of the article, Skip, has been running the team. So Jerry worked under the salary cap for 22, 23 years. So Jerry understands it.
Yep.
He found a way to get it done. But Skip, you know this. In the salary cap sport, it's hard to keep everybody when you have to pay everybody. That's why you have to Okay, prioritize. You know, look, when times turn hard, look, there are necessities. I got to pay my rent, got to pay my car note, my mortgage. The first thing they got to go in a hard time is what? Is a luxury item. You know, the gym. I'm sorry, Skip. I got to cut that gym out. All of a sudden, I can't get my mani and pedi. So you're going to have to prioritize, Stephen. I know you want to keep everybody, but you can't. You got to prioritize. No. This is not the way you do business, and it's going to come back to bite them, Skip. They're not going to give Stephen the loyalty that they gave his dad.
So, what does Shannon Sharpe remind me of on almost a daily
What?
basis on this show? That undying loyalty has gotten Jerry how many Super Bowls lately? What's it been since 1995?
It got him 3, though.
Oh.
Got him 3 of them big old things.
Let's see, the last one came after the 95 season, and we're in 2019. I can't even do the math
I
on
want
that.
you to remember that.
Yeah.
I want you to have that fact.
I'm reminding you that you always remind me of that. That's what undying loyalty got you.
Yes.
If this is true, this is huge for my Dallas Cowboys. And I'm not sure it's exactly been handed completely over to Stephen, but what is happening before your very eyes, or not before your very eyes, is the bad cop is becoming the captain now. Because in the old days, it was good cop Jerry, bad cop, but good cop had the final say.
Right.
The buck stopped on the good cop's desk,
Yeah.
not on the bad cop's
Right.
desk. So what has Jerry been known for? Inserting foot in mouth, that's number one, and loving his star players, making them all like sons to Jerry Jones.
All of them.
So all of a sudden, Daddy Jones is no longer in power, if in fact this is true.
Right.
So all of a sudden, a Jerry who put his arms around every star is being replaced by a Stephen who keeps arm's length from all the stars, okay?
Yes.
And what do I know about Jerry's kids? The first thing I knew came from my old friend, the agent Lee Steinberg, now the agent for your guy, Patrick, my homeboy, but in the old days, he was Troy Aikman's agent.
He was a lot of guys' agent.
A lot of guys'
Warren
agent,
Moon,
but
yeah, he had a lot of guys.
Lee told me right away as he got to know the Jones family because of the Troy Association, he went number 1 in the draft, he said, Jerry's kids are whip smart. Jerry could be here and there and everywhere, but the kids are whip smart. And that was Stephen at the top, and then Charlotte 2 years the junior, and she went to Stanford, and then Jerry Jr. is 3 years younger than Charlotte. Stephen went to Arkansas only because Jerry played at Arkansas.
Right.
And I think that Jerry, being a major donor to Arkansas, arranged for Stephen to be a walk-on player at Arkansas. And he did make the team all 4 years, and he did letter all 4 years for what it's worth. And he started his final game at Arkansas, which was the 87-year Orange Bowl against my Oklahoma Sooners. The final score was 42-8 Oklahoma. But Stephen played safety, and he started that game for what it's worth.
That
Maybe
might be why they got 42 points, Jenny.
it could be. And it could have been like,
Oh, that's why.
let's give him a
Yikes.
parting gift, you know, let's send him out right so Jerry will be happy with
Hey,
us.
Skip, your first start is in the Orange Bowl.
In the Orange Bowl, way to go, okay? But Stephen always, and I spent a lot of hours around Stephen, and he was the flip side of Jerry. He had Jerry's ego, but he did not have Jerry's showmanship. He was much happier to stay back in the shadows a little bit. If you ask him, he'll talk.
Yes.
You've heard him on his radio show.
Yeah,
he will really talk. But he was Jerry's conscience. He was Jerry with a delete button, because if Stephen started to say something, you could see his mind working. No, I shouldn't. I better pull that one out. Delete, right? And if Stephen thought about giving somebody a deal at the last second instead of plunging the way Jerry does, let's just pay him. He's a great guy. He's my son. Let's pay him. Stephen would be like, delete, no, delete.
Right.
So Stephen is Jerry far less emotionally. He is far more dispassionate than Jerry is about the Cowboys. So as a negotiator, he plays hardball, and he's no soft touch. So he's not Daddy Jerry, so the players can't run upstairs to Stephen and say, my coach is being hard on me. And because Daddy Jerry'd say, I'll fix it. I got it, I'll talk to him.
And ever since Jimmy left,
Yeah.
players could always bypass the coach and go straight to Jerry.
Okay, so why won't this be better in the long run? Why won't this pay Super Bowl dividends? Because you need a bad cop at the top. You need somebody to say no.
But you do, Skip, but here's the thing. But when guys have angst or they have a dislike because they feel you shortchanged them, they're less apt to give you their all. As the thing with Jerry, because when you think about this, Jerry released all of them. Troy, Emmett, Michael. Who gave their Hall of Fame induction? Jerry. Let that sink in.
I love it.
Your boss fired you, and at your biggest crowning achievement, you say, I want him to come and present me.
Okay. And I'm here to predict going forward, Stephen Jones will never induct anybody into the Hall of Fame. Not one.
No.
Because there's going to be no love lost because there'll be none gained.
Just like Al. Al Davis, all the guys that went in.
Okay.
Al presented because Al would pay. Al would look. All I care about, can you get to the field on Sunday? If you can get to the field on Sunday, even if you're intoxicated,
that is
even if I just had to bail you out of jail, can you make it to the field? You can play good. We good.
Correct.
And that's how Jerry. Because who was Jerry's idol? Al Davis. When he got to the league, he cozied up.
He was his mentor.
He cozied up to Al.
I told you in that first year, Jerry chose to bring Oakland to camp so they could have 3 days of camp practice so that he and Al could go to dinner every night and he could pick his brain.
Yes.
How do I do this? He was Al Jr.
Right. And so he saw so really, okay, yeah, a guy's going to get in trouble. We're not going to have choir boys. And Al always felt, Skip, you needed those type of players to win. Because if you had 53 choir boys or 46 choir boys, you weren't winning jack.
Yep. And there's one other big difference between Jerry and Stephen on the Al Davis account. Remember, Al Davis coached at the highest level.
Yes.
He was decorated in both the AFL and the NFL.
Yes.
Jerry was decorated on the college level because he was a starter for a national championship team. Stephen had to just hang on as a walk-on.
Right.
So Jerry has never had any resentment of his stars. This is just me analyzing Stephen a little bit from a distance. Stephen is a little resentful. They got the talent I wanted. I was a walk-on safety. I started one game in my whole career, and if I'd had that guy's talent or that guy's talent, and now they want to come here and gouge me for $50 million, no, I'm not going to do it.
That's the thing, but the thing is, if you think about, the Cowboys is really the only organization, Skip. They print money. They own all the copyrights. So they could, like if Zeke has a touchdown where he's eating or something, they'll put a T-shirt that night and get it out tomorrow.
Yep.
They can do that. So they print money. Stephen, keep the guys happy. You keep the guys happy, that was the thing, Skip. Now, granted, Jerry's made some bad decisions as far as personnel, but it seems to be now that he's turned it over that Will McClay is doing most of the draft.
He has, and that's a huge difference, too.
And
I would agree.
They really haven't missed on their guys. You look at from Tyron Smith to Zach Martin to Travis Frederick to all those guys, they really haven't missed. But that's the thing, is that when you identify a guy, you draft him, and he's what you think he is, you're going to have to pay him.
Yep.
He wants to get compensated.
At every crucial junction in the history of the Dallas Cowboys, the conscience, Stephen, always fought Daddy Jerry to say, no, no, no. They almost got in a fist fight over the Deion Sanders deal because Stephen's point was, you're bidding against yourself. He wants to come here.
Right.
He won a championship with San Francisco. Now he wants to come win one with Dallas.
Right.
And he did.
Right.
And so they got into a fight over that. And then the next flashpoint was Johnny Manziel. And I love Johnny, but I said, if he's got alcohol or other issues, I'm off the bandwagon. And Stephen was the one on draft night who stepped up and said, Jerry, no. And he calls him Jerry.
All of the kids call him Jerry.
Jerry.
They don't call him
Jerry, no. He's the bad cop. He's the
do.
conscience.
But you know what, Skip? Jerry would do what? The guys would go out. Jerry go hang with the guys.
Yeah, he will.
He go hang with. Stephen's not going to do that.
No.
Stephen's not going to do that. And that's why they look at Jerry. Jerry's like an older brother or uncle that they can go hang with, shoot the breeze with. That's what Jerry is. Now, Steve, that's different. And so guys are going to have to transition to like, man, I heard Jerry would do all this, and Stephen's nothing like Jerry.
Takes a little time. That takes a little time to adjust.
All I'm saying, Dak.
I'm smelling Super Bowl.
I'm
smelling it.
I'm smelling Dak Prescott.
Oh, there's
Super
a
Bowl?
smell
I
for
have
it now.
this-
I
Hey,
didn't
smell that
realize
Super
that.
That's
Bowl?
Dak Prescott saying, well, y'all better get Jerry here because I want my money.
Really?
I want my money.
Might wanna be
Get
talking
Jerry,
about
and then
instead.
Stephen, you handle Zeke and Amari. But I need Jerry for this one.
They can split the duties. That's a good idea. How about this for a story? Why are the Buffalo Bills talking about O.J. Simpson?
Oh, my goodness.
Didn't know I'd be bringing up his name. We'll explain next.
No mercy.
O.J. Simpson hasn't played a game for the Buffalo Bills in over 40 years, but he's back in the news this week because for the first time since 1977, the Bills actually gave his number 32 jersey to a current player. Running back Norris Perry asked if the number was available, and the team said he could wear it. Simpson told The Athletic, quote, "Whatever they do is fine with me." Interesting. Shannon, is this a bad idea?
Yes. Skip, we talking about OJ. We're not supposed to be talking about OJ. Let OJ go. I don't know what the Bills were thinking. Now, I believe OJ was one of the 2 or 3 best players in Buffalo Bills history. Why the number isn't retired, okay, fine, got no problem with that. But why would you give it out? Because we're having a discussion about OJ in which we shouldn't be having a discussion about OJ. And my question is, young man, why would you want this jersey? First of all, you're a journeyman back, Skip. Mm-hmm. Normally when someone asks to get a player that's hollowed number, you're a baller. Peyton Manning called Frank Tripucka. 18 is retired in Denver. He called him and asked.
Yep.
But it was available, so I wanted it. Equipment manager, what were you thinking? That you would put this number like, okay, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you know what I think? Skip, I know you're going to talk about this. I don't think people realize how good OJ was on the field. Skip, I'm going to give you an example, and I'm going to turn it over to you. I wore number 2 last year. 1989 was my senior year. From 1990, when they started another football season, until 2009, the number wasn't retired, but they let no one wear it.
I get it.
Bill Davis says as long as
by the way, the better you got in the NFL, the worse that got.
Yes.
Then it became even more.
Well, Bill said, my coach at the time, Bill Davis, says as long as I'm the head coach, nobody's ever wearing this number. Mm-hmm. Okay, they retired it.
Yep.
But why would someone even want that? Skip, if you could, let's just say for the sake of argument, someone says, you know what, there's a great quarterback, he's the first-round pick, and he goes to New England. Mm-hmm. And he says, I've worn number 12 all my life. Skip, why would you want that number?
Yep.
When you know what that number represents in a positive manner. Mm-hmm. But why would you take 32 with Buffalo? Skip, when I was growing up, you wanted to be one man if you played running back. And everybody wanted to play running back because everybody wanted to be the juice. I don't care whatever number, if you wore 32, you wore for 2 reasons. Mm-hmm. Jim Brown, if you're old enough, and O.J. Simpson. And this young man took a number that I don't really think he understands the good and the bad behind that number.
Because there's so much good and so
much bad.
So to your point, this is the all-time double jeopardy. This is the ultimate 2-way can't win.
No.
You can't win it either way.
Either way, Buffalo nor this young man.
Because
right.
O.J. Simpson was so great on the football field. This is before all the rest happened. He was so great that it's actually disrespectful to that legacy to award 32 to some kid who has, 3 carries?
He had 8 carries.
8 carries for 30 yards and 2 catches for 2 yards. He's a special teams player who has bounced from Bears to Dolphins to Bills.
Correct.
And who might not even make this roster. And you're dishonoring the number that O.J. eventually completely dishonored and disqualified off the field. I give you that.
Yes.
But what he did on the field remains. To me, I still respect what he did on the field because I can make a case.
Special.
Hey, just me. I think he was the greatest Buffalo Bill of all.
Yes.
And again, we got Jim Kelly, we got Thurman Thomas, and we got Bruce Smith, and their 3 numbers, 12,
78 and 34.
Are retired. Mm-hmm. And I just half suspected or thought that 32 was, I didn't know, retired. Remember, OJ's name is still up on that stadium wall and what they call their wall of fame. He's still up there.
Yes. And Skip, you got to realize he last played there in 77. He played his last year, 78, with San Francisco.
He did.
So I would have thought the number would have been retired. OJ went to the Hall.
It wasn't retired. It was just taken out of circulation.
Right. Yeah.
That's what happened.
But
for both reasons.
But here's the thing, Skip. I think OJ went into the Hall of Fame in 84, 85. You mean to tell me from 85 till this incident happened, you didn't think OJ was good enough to have that number retired? Now, if you want to pull it out of retirement, Skip, after the point, okay, so be that.
Because 32 at USC remains retired.
Skip, people don't realize how good O.J. Simpson was. You take whoever you think the best back is, and he couldn't hold a candle to O.J.
He was the first to go 2,000 yards, and that was in 14 games.
In 14 games.
Yeah.
Skip, take the best running back today, whoever you think it is, and ask anybody that followed the game, could they hold a candle to that man? Everybody, when I came up, Skip, you played running back, everybody tried to get 32. Skip, there were offensive linemen trying to get 32. They say, son, you can't have 32. Because everybody wanted to be the juice.
They did.
He was it.
The juice was loose.
Yeah, get loose, juice. Buffalo, why?
I spent a lot of time around O.J., got to know him very well, especially on some of his movie sets. He was simply the most charismatic athlete I was ever around, and it's really not even close. And he parlayed that into Hertz commercials that dominated every football game you turned on.
Yes.
Every sport event.
Running through airports with a
You
briefcase.
just saw it. It was everywhere. This is a little before your time, but he
Yeah, no,
dominated
interesting.
TV in those ads.
Yes.
And he became a very successful actor. I'm not saying he was a great actor,
Right.
but he became very successful in lots, even the Naked Gun franchise.
I remember he, I know
Okay.
he did
And he
some
had the one with the scene with, I think, Andrew Dickinson.
Oh, yeah. and,
What was that? The burning? I forget the name
yeah,
of the movie.
I know what you mean. I was on the set of a TV movie
Really?
made with Elizabeth Montgomery.
Elizabeth Montgomery, that's what I
Okay,
meant. Elizabeth
okay.
Montgomery.
And it was
That's-
called A
you
Killing
know,
Affair, which
yeah.
is a chilling title
Yes.
for what was about to happen.
Yikes.
Right.
And for our younger viewers who aren't aware of this, if there are two of them out there, he was acquitted of double murder charges, but then he was found liable in the civil case that
correct.
followed. And then eventually he went to prison for almost 9 years for what there are a
being
lot
dumb.
of charges for being dumb, but it was armed robbery. And he
Right.
said he was just retrieving his own memorabilia. That's
Right.
what he said
That's what he said.
precipitated this. But the point was he disgraced himself ultimately off the field. And he's now out of prison, and he was quoted. I don't know if did you mention that?
That
I
he
can't remember.
said whatever
Yeah,
they want to
whatever
do
they
is
wanna
fine.
do. Yeah,
Yeah.
he seems to be.
I mean, I was so
Told the
mad.
athletic
I was so
guy.
mad at him. I stopped drinking orange juice for about 10 years.
Yeah, I got it. No,
I let you do that.
Yeah.
But that dude was special
Okay.
on the football field.
Okay.
And I don't know why Buffalo thought this would be a good idea.
Yeah, whose idea was it to say, let's sign off on this?
Yeah.
Let's give 32 to Sonoris Perry, who might not make our roster.
Skip.
By the way, he's making a grand total this year of $810,000.
So that
Your
means he's
quarterback makes $28 million.
Oh, yes,
for
we
Cousins. Just
remember.
But Skip, even whatever. So let's just say you're a new equipment manager.
Yeah.
Whatever the team is, you know the history.
Mm-hmm.
You know the numbers. You go to the Packers, you know the numbers. You know what 66 represents. You know what 5 represents.
Mm-hmm.
You know all those numbers, Skip. You know what 4 is. So so now all of a sudden the equipment manager didn't know? Most equipment managers have had these jobs for at least a decade.
I know. I got it.
And to say, you know what? What number you want, son?
Mm-hmm.
Let me get 32. Nah, pick another one.
32 available? Yeah. Yeah. You want 32? You got 32.
What about 30? What about 31?
Yeah.
You have any number but that one. That one will never be, we might not retire, but nobody, because Skip, I don't care what anybody says. When you see 32 with Buffalo Bills, I guarantee you the first thing you think about is O.J. Simpson.
Yeah. So I saw our man Reggie Bush at the gym yesterday. We were kicking around.
yeah?
Obviously, he's a USC
right.
Heisman winner, legend, and all that.
Yeah.
And I said, look, if you had been drafted by Buffalo, let's just say you were the second overall pick, and you had said, hey, I know this is controversial, but I want to honor what O.J. did on the field. I want to wear 32. I'd say, okay, because maybe you could kind of
Right.
live up to
Right.
it, even though
Right.
you know, it's hard. It's almost
Yeah.
impossible, even for Reggie. But he was a USC great.
Right.
And again,
Right.
that run that O.J. made against UCLA his
Right.
junior year at the Coliseum, it's just all-time spectacular. So my point is, how does it go all the way to Sonoris Perry? It's like it makes no sense. How could the people in charge sign off on that? They should have just quietly said, no, it remains out of circulation.
Right.
For both reasons.
Thank you.
Lose.
Lose.
Right.
There really isn't a win in this situation.
Yeah.
We got to go back to the NBA because there's been some beef going on between KD and our friend
here we
Chris
go.
Broussard. He is here and will
got him.
respond next.
No mercy.
KD and I have what I call a love-hate relationship. and I'm not trying to say we're bosom buddies and we're all that close, but we do have a relationship. We have texted, this is no exaggeration, there have been days, a couple of days, we've texted for 2-3 hours straight, okay? About life, about basketball, about media, about faith. KD has gone at me much harder privately.
Right.
Like, he doesn't do it every time, but when I've said things on TV that he doesn't agree with, he will come back at me privately. And he's called me names. He's gone at me much harder than that tweet. And again, we've always been able to talk it out, come to a place of understanding.
So that was Chris on our show yesterday, and there's Katie's response telling Chris, "You don't have my number, man." And then Chris responded, Instagram DM, Twitter DM, text. It's all the same thing nowadays. Dude, don't act like I'm lying. Chris, you're here with us now. It is surprising, I think, to see this back and forth. So what is your reaction to the whole thing?
Well,
You got to explain it. You know what cap? To those people at home, cap means lie, 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 lie.
which I didn't even know. But I looked at the context. I thought he was saying busting a cap in your story or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it came from that originally.
Yeah.
Okay,
did.
okay. But anyway.
He had 6 caps?
Yeah, you lied.
5, 6. All right, we're going to see who's lying. All right, first of all, with the way KD is on social media, this could be a topic every day. You know, with me on here, who knows how long this
Seems like it is, actually.
Yeah.
Right. But look, he has every right to get on social media, to respond, to clap back, if you will. We talk about him being sensitive, but if this is what he enjoys, he can do it. It's his right. Now, what he doesn't have a right to do is lie. And he didn't directly lie in that he didn't deny the story.
Right.
He didn't deny anything about the story. He just said, I don't have his cell phone number. All right, but the tweet implied that I lied, that I made the whole story up.
Right.
And that's how a lot of people are taking it. So I went on video yesterday with Twitter, tweeted that I'm not going to release the DM. He's hit me, he slid into my DMs, all right? He's hit me on Instagram direct message, Twitter direct message, and that's how we've communicated.
Sure.
I do have a cell number for him that he gave me years ago that I'm sure is old and outdated now, but I do have that.
Good point.
But I have 60 plus direct messages from him in the past year or so, where we talked about the things I mentioned yesterday. So the thing that's more important to me than anything, than my career, than anything, is my integrity.
Yeah.
If I were to sit up here on this show and tell a 4-minute lie with all of that detail, if I were to prostitute my faith, my God, to promote a lie, that would be disrespectful to all you guys, to the audience, and honestly, I think that would be a fireable offense. And I'm saying, if anybody can prove that I was lying yesterday, then fire me. FS1, fire me. Fox Sports Radio, take me off the Odd Couple radio show with Rob Parker and fire me. Don't let me set foot in this building again. Every church that has me scheduled to speak, that's thinking about inviting me to speak, cross me off your list. If somebody can prove I was lying yesterday.
It's on you, KD.
A direct message and a text is the same thing, especially when you hitting me.
Yeah.
Chris, here's the thing, and to your point, he didn't say y'all didn't communicate.
No.
He said you don't have my number. So if you didn't, what you got to do, KD, get back on social media, because you hear everything, and if you don't, you got some guys that do. Say, nah, bro, we ain't communicated. And then we can prove that one way or another. You see, the thing is, KD is going out of his way to try to embarrass Chris, because it's not about Chris. It's about what everybody's saying about what the Warriors did without him. This is about Steph Curry. This is about the Warriors. This is not about what you said. He hears everything. It's amazing to me. This might be one of the most amazing things that I've ever seen, Skip. How a guy came from where he came from, got to where he got by giving a damn about what people said about him. Normally, great players don't care, regardless, male, female, forget the sport. They care less about what someone says about them.
True.
It matters to him. It hurts him that when people critique his game, or when people say, well, they're doing this without him, it bothers him, Skip. It really gnaws at him. But this is not about Chris. This is not about Skip. This is not about any other show that critique him. This is about KD. He's dealing with something with KD that he's going to have to come to grips with because this is a personal issue. They got nothing to do with Chris Broussard. You're going to go all the way out there and talk about this man ain't got your number. Say that you didn't have communications. That's what you should have said. That's the way you say Chris is lying. Man, I ain't never had no communication with you. We don't talk like that. Forget the number. Because most people don't, they email now. You know, I ain't got no email. You ain't email me nothing. You gonna send me a text or we gonna talk, we gonna communicate. Yeah, but we ain't emailing. So
You're the DM king, though, right?
Nah. Yo, I ain't seen you there. You go, Skip. What I tell you stuff? What I do you
You
about that?
say it on TV.
What I tell you about dry snitch?
Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, you bring it up a lot.
But KD needs to stop this. Now this is getting out. KD, you out of pocket for this one, bro. You're gonna try to question the man's integrity about a phone. See, you talking about a literal sense.
Right.
You ain't got my phone number. People communicate in other ways more so than phone. Now, people communicate mainly social media via text. They don't actually call. They communicate via email or through the DMs. But KD, you got to fix you, bro. You got to fix you because you got something going on. Because I've never seen any great and he's a historically great player.
No doubt.
To be this sensitive and be so that the league, Skip, there's a guy that's 14 years old that's getting ready to be a freshman in high school, and KD's concerned about what he said in Iowa.
Yeah, if Kevin had included a second line in his tweet back at you, his clap back as he always calls it, if he'd said, cap, you don't have my number, bro, but we have communicated often via DM, then I'd be, okay, all right. So it's semantics. It's just semantics. Okay, it's this or that. Okay, so as much as I love and believe in you, look, by the letter of the law, should you have said yesterday, we've communicated via DM? I guess so. Did it change the thrust of what you said? Not an iota.
No.
Because you have communicated for hours via social media. Okay, but I don't blame you for not using the word DM because it sounds weird on TV.
It's
just
simpler
too
to
weird.
say text.
Just say
Right,
text
right.
because it's the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Or we've
Okay.
communicated.
Okay, we've communicated because I know you and I know you have communicated at length with him.
Yeah.
And through those DMs or whatever via social media, it can be Twitter, it can be
DM, Instagram, DM.
But through them, you have seen inside of a man in ways we have not. And you said yesterday, I think in what you posted, the video you posted on Twitter, there's no way I'm going to make public those DMs, and you should not make them public because you owe Kevin that much not to make those public because your reputation does speak for itself. You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually underestimated. I was looking at the messages yesterday. We actually communicate like 5 hours straight, 3 times. Like, not exactly 5 hours straight, but the first one's 5 hours earlier. There's tons of them, and then the last one's 5 hours later. So, and look, I don't like that he questioned my credibility or put it out there like that, but I'm not mad at him. Like you said, I don't get mad at people. Like you said, he's hurting. It's something in him. So I'm not mad at him. I want him to get himself strong and be the great player and person I know he can be. Right. So that's how I feel about it.
All this, I don't care about being the best basketball. I don't care about being one. I don't care about being bull. He cares. He cares. He cares. Not only does he care, he hears everything. It's like if you didn't play in the NBA, if you're not Magic Johnson, he's one of these guys, Skip. If you didn't play in the NBA, you wasn't Magic Johnson or Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, you can't critique my game. Huh? All I'm doing, I didn't say anything about you personally, bro. I'm critiquing what I saw. What we saw is the Golden State Warriors win a series, sweep a series without you on the court. We saw Steph Curry, when you don't play, Steph Curry's lost once. When you don't play, and he does. What are we saying? That's fine. You go look it up. That hurts him. Because we've never in the history of the game ever seen as good. They had a bunch of Hall of Famers on that Boston team, but can you imagine them winning the series without Larry Bird? Can you imagine the Lakers? As great as much talent they had Bob McAdoo in the Hall of Fame, James Worthy in the Hall of Fame, Jamal Wilson in the Hall of Fame, Kareem, 6-time MVP. Can you imagine them winning a series without Magic? Because that's what they did.
Maybe them more than Boston, just me. But,
right, I agree.
But the finals?
Look, KD can be a top, I mean, he can be a top 10 player of all time.
Definitely.
I right now, as far as small forwards go, I would have Larry Bird ahead of him because Bird proved that it was Bird's team,
Yep.
and he led them. He was the key. But if KD goes somewhere else and proves it with his own team,
Yeah.
I could move him ahead of Larry Bird. Like, he's that good.
Yes.
He could, depending on what happens in the future, maybe get in the GOAT conversation. I mean, this dude is awesome.
He's awesome.
But people feel like you sold yourself short. I felt that way about LeBron when he went to Miami because I thought he was good enough to win it in Cleveland.
Yep.
And obviously he went back and proved he could lead his own team. So I think KD, that's what he has to do.
So my bottom line, I'm going to say it again, thinnest skinned superstar I have ever observed. Yet the final irony, the mind-blowing irony for me is that as much as he lets all this get under his skin, it does not destroy him. It somehow fuels him in his biggest moments.
And we've seen that.
Absolutely.
Over and over again.
That's odd, because usually guys, especially like in New York, guys don't look at the back page because it affects their game.
Yeah.
I got to give him credit on that. It does not
No.
impact his play at all, and that's
It
a sign of
didn't
strength.
impact his play in Golden State. It impacted his play in OKC. That's why he went to Golden State. But we're about to find out how much he affects his game if he goes somewhere else.
Right.
That's when we're going to see.
I just have one last thing for you, Chris. How do you want this to end?
I hope it just ends.
Okay.
I mean, I think I haven't reached out to KD. He hasn't reached out to me. I will do that eventually.
Okay.
I'll give it time. But I'm tired of going back and forth with
Sure.
him. But I'm not just
KD,
gonna let
just
him
come on
sit
the
there
show and
try
get a
to rip
brother a
my
hug.
credibility.
I mean,
Yeah,
Chris
I know.
is hurting right now. Just come get a brother a hug on the show, man.
Yeah, it's important. Integrity is everything in our
Right,
world, and
right.
we all know that about you. So it was good to get your side of the story. Thank you for sharing. We're going to stay talking about the Warriors. I don't know how Katie would feel about this one.
No, this-
Steph Curry taking
he
over
might
the
not
top
like
spot
this.
as the best player in the NBA. If he's watching, he should probably stop. We'll go there.
No mercy.
Steph Curry has been unstoppable since Kevin Durant got hurt. In the 4-game sweep against the Blazers, Steph averaged about 37 points per game while shooting nearly 43% from three-point range. That led Charles Barkley to say that Steph has put his name back in the conversation for best player in the world, along with Durant, LeBron, Giannis, and Kawhi. So Chris Broussard is back with us. Chris, does Steph belong in that discussion?
You know, I've had this discussion a lot with Isaiah Thomas, the legend, Zeke, Detroit Pistons.
The big guy, the real, the big guy.
No disrespect to the current Isaiah, but about the GOAT and about best players in the world at any given time. And he has said, we know he was a 6'1" point guard. He has said, when you guys in the media talk about the GOAT or the best player, you're really only talking about guys 6'6" and over. Like, he's like, you don't even consider any guards, any point guards, any small guards other than Magic Johnson, who was 6'8". And that's been fair, though, because the game has always been about height and big men dominated. And the only two small players that ever led their teams to championships, not just one championship, but multiple ones, was Isaiah Thomas and Steph Curry.
Right.
But now that the game is more about point guards and wing players, now that it's a jump shooting three-point league, why can't you now throw a point guard into the conversation?
Okay.
And I think, look, it's hard to compare players in basketball because they're different sizes and different skill sets. Like, how do you really compare who was better between Shaq and Kobe?
Right.
They did such different things.
Right.
It's not just a checklist of skills. Who's the better shooter? Who's the better passer? Who's this?
Right.
I think the fairest way to compare players is impact. Impact on winning. And if they have to have obviously superstar statistics. But if you got superstar statistics, then let's look at the impact on winning. And if Steph Curry leads them to the championship without Kevin Durant, why can't you say he's the best player in the world? He doesn't have this, everybody's the overwhelming talent. Well, if KD's gone, Klay is going to be a future Hall of Famer, but he was a low lottery pick.
Right.
Draymond Green, I think, will probably be a future Hall of Famer because of the winning. He was a second-round pick. Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, Andrew Bogut are old. Look at Kevon Looney, the last pick of the first round. And then you got guys people don't even know coming off the bench, giving them minutes.
Jerebko.
Right.
Quinn
Quinn Cook, Jacob Evans, was it? Playing other. And so if he can lead them to this
Yep.
championship, I think he's more than in the conversation. And you have to arguably say he's the best player in the world.
I agree with you, but I don't believe he should have ever left the conversation. What transpired, Skip, is that he was so willing to go to the second, stand in the background.
He took himself out of the conversation.
He was driving.
willingly did that.
He was driving a nice car, and he's like, you know what, KD, for you,
Yeah.
I'm going to get in the passenger seat. I'm going to let you drive.
Okay.
Now,
Now you're disqualified from best player on the planet discussion,
yeah,
right?
Because and the thing is, but Skip, you look at it, he averaged 27 points a game, which was the second most of his career, only behind the 30 in which he won the unanimous MVP.
You talking about this year.
This year.
Right, and he was their leading scorer.
He was their leading scorer. And if you look at these last two finals, Skip, I mean, he averaged the year when KD first got there, he was 26, 8, and 9. Last year, he was pretty much the same thing, a tick low in rebounds and assists.
And you have often made the case that first finals, he should have been the MVP over Iguodala, right?
I thought so. The key game 5, when it was tied 2-2, he had 37 points.
Okay.
And if you look at it, what we've seen from the last 2 weeks, without what we call another superstar, another Harden or LeBron or Kawhi on his team, he showed you what he can do. So I never felt he should have left the conversation. Now, I think he's unbelievable. And I agree with you, Chris. I believe that if he wins another championship, it's going to be hard to keep him out of it's going to be hard to keep him out of the conversation for being the best point guard ever.
I agree.
It's going to be very hard because he's going to have 4 rings, a unanimous MVP, and he's not done yet.
Yep.
So, yeah, he absolutely. Now, am I taking him over KD? Am I taking him over LeBron? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But he's a top 5 player. I think he's always been a top 5 player, but it's hard to say he's a top 5 player when you're riding shotgun with KD. And that's the same thing people had. Well, how you going to be the best player in the world and you got a 2-time league MVP on your roster?
Okay, before that 2-time MVP came there, Kevin Durant went to Golden State, especially in the second of the 2 MVP seasons, which was the unanimous one. I thought Steph Curry was the best player on the planet that year. I thought his impact and his value was slightly even more than your man LeBron's, just for that year. He revolutionized the way we looked at the game of basketball. He was shooting shots from distances that most players would have gotten yanked for before he showed up, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And he's making 48, 50% of those distant shots, and it's tilting the game in Golden State's favor during their record 73-9 season. And I will also say that in these last 5 games, that guy reemerged. In fact, this guy over the last 5, and I'm talking about Game 6 at Houston and then those 4 against Portland, that guy was even better than the unanimous MVP guy. That was the best stretch of basketball I've ever seen Steph Curry play. Now, you can say it was what was left of the Rockets because they were psychologically reeling, but still, to go do that to them in Game 6 in their place,
their building.
he destroyed them. And then for 4 straight nights, he destroyed the Trailblazers. He psychologically just destroyed them. He shredded that defense in 1,000 different little big ways. And again, he's getting to the basket a lot.
Yes.
He's slicing and dicing them. And again, he doesn't look the part. He's baby-faced and he's slender. Although if you look hard at the slender, it's got some cuts in it now.
Yeah, he done bulked up a little bit since I saw him.
Hey, well, look at that. Thank you for that picture.
Hey, Skip,
That's a little different than Davidson, right?
He done bulked up a little bit since the pre-draft combine. You watch him in the pre-draft combine, you like, oh, somebody let their kid on.
Okay, so what's the big glitch? What was the big disqualifier? It was the finals against LeBron after the 73-9. It was games 5, 6, and 7. And what happened in those 3 games? He shoots 37% from the field, which by his standards is horrible. He shot 36% from 3, which by his, it's shameful for him.
Especially he was 40% in the regular season.
And in those 3 games, he had a grand total of 7 assists and 12 turnovers. That's not that unanimous MVP. Right. And then the worst of all was that Game 7. Remember, they go to the 4th quarter in their house, 1 point up on LeBron and company. It's Kyrie and Kevin Love. 1 point up. And what does he do in the 4th quarter? He goes 1 for 6 and 1 for 5 from 3. And he had the one just
was-
shockingly bad
It was
turnover.
behind the back
Behind
turnover
the back
to Clay
into the
with
third row.
with the left hand.
Yeah.
He's
okay.
careless with the ball.
Okay, all right. And in that seventh game, this is your house. This is your show. This is when you rise and shine. For the game, he went 6 for 19 and 4 of 14 from 3. You can't do that. And that's why he swallowed all of his MVP pride and said, okay, I give up and I give in. We need him. Right?
And here's the thing. Well, it's hard to say because you believe that had they won that against LeBron, you believe that also, that Kevin Durant would have never set foot in Golden State.
I can't imagine he would
Okay.
went to Golden State.
Yeah.
But we could be looking at
Because why
Steph.
would they want him? Why would they go to the Hamptons to recruit him
Well, true.
if they'd beaten?
I had been told that the summer before KD's last year in OKC, and this was early in the season, I was told this, and it all came to bear out. Somebody told me KD really wanted to play with the Warriors. They weren't saying it was a done deal, but they said he had mentioned to somebody that summer, man, I love the way y'all play. That's why I know it wasn't just about let me go get an easy title. He liked generally the selflessness, the egolessness, the ball movement after especially playing all those years with Westbrook.
Fair.
So he was looking at it already, thinking about it the year before, and I think with them losing, it just gave him the opportunity to go there.
Man, what Steph is doing without him, though. I mean, there's people like, well, they swept Portland. Portland got swept last year. Yeah, but the Pelicans didn't sweep them without Anthony Davis. Can you imagine now if the Pelicans had swept them without Anthony Davis, we'd be talking about something. Had they beat Houston without James Harden, we'd be talking about something different.
To Isaiah Thomas's point, inch for inch over these last 5 games, it's the greatest basketball I've ever seen anybody play. Inch for inch.
Better than Iverson?
To me,
Oh, he's
yes.
better.
'Cause he
He's
could-
better than Iverson.
But I'm saying, you know that stretch with Iverson when he got him to the finals. And then that first game against the Lakers.
One thing I say is AI wasn't that efficient.
No.
You know, he
You
just
ball
wasn't
you.
an efficient
You ball
scorer.
you.
But I agree. I mean, Iverson, I think, puts him, he loves Steph. I think he put him ahead of Magic. That's really the interesting conversation. You're right. If they win this championship without KD,
I don't know how you keep him in the second slot, Skip.
Yep. But there's one man I put above Steph Curry and LeBron James. Who? Snoop.
Oh, that's the guy?
Snoop!
Snoop Dogg is here. Chris,
Yeah.
thank you for joining
Snoop.
us.
Oh, I know you got that for your boy. I know you got that for your boy. I know you got that for your boy.
So much to talk about.
A new
We keep that.
Good
We
morning.
keep it.
Good morning, love.
Good to see you.
Skip.
for him.
Skip.
How are you?
What's up, baby?
Gotta talk about the Lakers, the Steelers, everything.
No mercy.
So here is the latest drama with the Lakers. Earlier this week, Rob Pelinka said the Lakers could be a championship contender next year, but they probably need to add a major free agent to do that. ESPN reported that LeBron will stay in the background during free agency because he doesn't want the impression that he's the real general manager of the team. Well, we're joined by rap legend, huge Lakers
Legend.
fan, and friend of our
Oh,
show,
look what we
Snoop
got
Dogg.
going on
Welcome.
over
Yeah.
here.
Shay Shay.
Yeah, Snoop, when you come out
Step your
here,
game up, Shay Shay.
Skip, that's the bubblegum cookie.
Really?
Yeah, this
So
thing.
your stash just got restocked.
Hello.
With the
Snoop.
best
Please
stuff,
believe it.
right?
Snoop, you better tell him to have you higher than giraffe
Man,
head.
please believe it.
Oh.
He's out of the universe.
Are you gonna be okay to go on?
Yeah, you know, I got my glasses because I already know my eye gonna be.
The glasses look
Nebula.
good. I like
Hey, Snoop,
it.
I'm gonna have them Michael Jordan eyes. You know them brown eyes? Snoop, I don't about to have them brown eyes.
Snoop, thank you for joining
I want
us.
to know if there's any for him stuff over there.
Oh, you want some of that?
Yeah.
I got you. Skip, I'm gonna make you one of the members. I'm gonna take care of you, baby.
That worries me a little bit. But either way, okay, let's talk about the Lakers. How worried are you about your team?
Well, I was worried until Magic came out, and Magic gave me a little bit of clarity. We needed some clarity on what was going on because there was like a lot of unheard and, misread and misfed information. So Magic gave us some clarity, and now that we have clarity, I'm anxious to see what Jeannie and what the crew are going to do to restore order because we still have LeBron James, and he doesn't like to lose. We had a terrible season, and I'm pretty sure he's doing his job recruiting, but I think he may need to get up in there and do some general managing.
I would agree with that. I've been telling you that for 3 days. It's
You got-
time for him to step up.
But Snoop, you got trust in Jeannie and Rob because you know Rob is universally hated around the league. They call him, everybody that you've talked to, even Magic called the man out by name. Everybody around the league called him a snake, called him a liar. And you got trust in that?
Well, I'm gonna say this. I feel like LeBron gonna trump that. I think Magic was like the middle guy.
You're right.
Now that Magic is gone, ain't no middleman. LeBron gonna go up in there and say what he need to say and tell y'all, look, this what's happening. I need to run my organization like this. Y'all brought me here and I like winning. I hate losing. We went through that first season. I let y'all do what y'all was doing, what y'all didn't know what y'all was doing. Let's put some structure in here. Y'all didn't bring my coach. That's the first thing y'all did disrespectfully. Should have paid Tyronn what he was worth, gave him a 5-year deal. Why y'all playing games trying to attach people to his staff? Let this man run his organization. That's what's wrong. We too busy trying to create as opposed to letting us do what we do. Pay this man to do what he's supposed to do.
Well, remember, Skip, he tried to do that. And Jeannie Buss got so upset by LeBron, she thought LeBron and Rich Paul was trying to hijack her team that she contemplated even putting LeBron on the market. Snoop?
What?
Yeah!
During the Anthony Davis
During
trade
Anthony
saga.
Davis, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that.
Because she thought he was trying to run a power play and take over her franchise.
Yeah.
He's only here for 4 years, baby. He's trying to help us get back to winning. We haven't won in a long time. When Kobe was here, we was losing. We still losing. Like, we need to fix the aura around here. The Clippers are better than us. This is
They
terrible.
are better.
I thought I'd never say that.
The Clippers you're in danger of them being way better next
No,
year.
ain't nobody going there.
No?
No.
Nobody's
That's
going there.
It's not a pool. I'm telling you, it's not cool to go there because you still got to play against them other teams on the West. And it's just not that prestigious to go there and lose.
Well, you
want to
still
go
gotta-
somewhere.
Snoop, you recruiting? Are you going to be recruiting? Are you going to be passing out the old goodie
Man,
bag?
I always recruit when it comes to the Lakers, man. LeBron, Maverick, give me a holler. Who we need to talk to first?
So how much ultimate faith do you have in Jeannie Buss and Linda Rambus and Kurt Rambus? Because it appears those three are at the top of your hierarchy right now.
Well, I know Jeannie personally, and I feel like she will come to her senses and make the right decision based off of her brother fumbling the organization
Yep.
for many years and then her sitting back watching and then taking the organization. I don't think she's going to do the exact same thing that he did. I think this Magic thing was a reality shock for her and for the organization to say that if Magic walked out, maybe we need to look at ourselves because he has been associated with greatness in basketball, not as far as coaching and all that other stuff, but just basketball in general. He's the reason why LeBron came here. Let's get that part straight and simple. He don't come here without Magic Johnson. Now he's gone, so what are we going to do to keep him here? We need to restore order, Jeannie, have a conversation with LeBron, and put the right people in place.
Okay, is the right person Rob Pelinka?
No.
Because remember, he was Kobe's agent
No.
for all those years. That's why he got that
I don't even
job.
know him, but I don't think he's the right person just
Okay.
because I feel like he's connected to Kobe. I feel like they need to let that go because we wasn't winning when Kobe left.
Ooh.
Let's keep it real.
Yeah, no.
So he's not proven. I mean, I don't even know what Rob Pelinka did as far as me. He inherited Kobe. Kobe was great. You didn't make Kobe great. You're an agent. Agents don't make athletes great.
Yeah.
We make the agents great by us being who we are.
You make the agents wealthy.
Man, I'm telling you, I had agents in my life once upon a time. I don't anymore because I
Really?
felt like I was the one. And they're getting all the credit for me. Like, you're not going to get that from me. You didn't make me. You didn't put in this work.
Well, they're getting 1%. I know that, right?
Well, some of my agents still stay down with me, but some of them have been released.
So next year is LeBron James' 17th season in the NBA. How much does he have left?
I've seen him doing good till he took that injury.
Yep.
But I never seen him take an injury.
Yeah.
So that was different for me to see that as well. But I'm like, I know he trains and he conditions his body, but to take that injury was a strong injury because it went from 1 week to 2 weeks to when is he coming back?
Yeah.
And then when he came back, it didn't look like it looked. So, I just feel like he needs more help. Like even watching the Toronto Milwaukee series, I'm watching Kawhi. I watch him go all, and I watch him run out of gas because they're not helping him. Like,
Yeah, everybody know what's going on, Skip. Even Snoop.
you got to have help at a certain point. It's like, to me, if Kawhi was to come with LeBron and the team we got, oh my God, he'd have all the help he needs.
So is that your number one
I
target?
love me some Kawhi
Really?
Leonard.
Do you?
But the organization up top ain't really fascinating to him right now. Like, he's one of those kind of guys that got to be right before him to come.
To go there.
Exactly.
Well, we looking at AD.
Are
We're
you?
going to get AD. Might
Okay.
get Kyrie, too, Snoop.
Ooh, I like that. AD and Kyrie? I like that.
Okay, so Snoop, would you endorse trading all those kids, Lonzo Kuzma, B.I., Josh Hart, all for AD?
All of them for
Yeah.
one player?
Well, that's what seemed to be on the
That's
table
smart.
at the trade deadline.
AD.
Well, AD brings a lot. He's proven. He's an all-star. And I just feel like we would go way further with him on our team, looking at that bench saying, AD, get in the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd say
I
sign
agree.
off.
I agree.
Okay.
We gave the youngsters a shot. They good. I seen some sparks in them. Kuzma, Ingram, I seen some sparks in them. But AD, his light stays on. It's all about that light staying on. They light flickering. It comes on and off. His light is on.
Over.
Have you given up on Lonzo yet?
I love Lonzo
I do
Ball.
too.
I felt like he was coming on before he got hurt. It was his father had separated from him. I think LeBron started talking to him and mentoring him, and it was like Rondo was testing, like, you know, I'm getting all these minutes because you ain't doing nothing. It just felt like he was finding his own way.
Okay. So, is Kevin Durant going to determine the outcome of next basketball season with his decision?
No.
Nope.
No, because I think that injury is serious. I don't think that's a calf
Really?
injury, yeah.
Oh, you think it might be Achilles?
If it wasn't, why he ain't back? I ain't even seen him on the sideline.
I have also suspected this, but I don't have any
The first
proof of
sign,
this
though,
whatsoever.
Skip, if it's not that serious, is what? Let me put a suit on like Boogie and sit on the sideline with
I've
the
been
fellas.
telling
Say that
you,
every
I said,
day.
where
Boogie
are
on
you?
the sideline.
Yeah.
I know.
But he's not on the sideline. To me, it's more serious, and it's not the hearsay about who's saying this and that they can win without him. That's not. It's the injury, man.
Well, we looked at it and said, that's Achilles,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I
Didn't it
thought
look
the
like-
minute, because he looked back. He looked
at it.
Yeah, and that's what they always say. Everybody, and I've been around a lot of guys that in practice in the game, it's like, man, did you kick me? You tripped me? It seems like somebody kicked him in the back of the leg or someone tripped him.
And our man Chris Broussard talked to one of his sources at Golden State that night.
Right.
He said, we fear it's Achilles.
Right.
And then the next day, it's a calf strain.
Right. And then it's more serious than we thought.
Yeah, and they only played against the Portland Trailblazers, so it was like, come on, man. The hard game was the Rockets. The Trailblazers was easy. First of all, the Trailblazers lost their key player in the injury. I forgot the guy's
Nurkic.
name. He was very good. When they lost that guy, that was like, because Steph's little brother is going to always be Steph, little brother. You can't get none. You'll never be able to get none.
Nah,
I'll let
he
you
ain't gonna
get.
be-
I'll let you get a few.
He'll get a
but,
little.
But
Yeah,
when it's
yeah,
time for
yeah.
me to get to the next round,
Yeah.
I'm dogging you out.
But Snoop, they had a 17, a 18, and a 17-point lead at home. You got to bring that home, and they missing KD. They missing Iggy. You got to bring one of those games home, Snoop, when you
But
got
that's-
Dame Lillard and
That's
CJ.
my little brother. That's always in the back. Like, one thing
Well,
about
Dame ain't his little brother.
but that ain't
He
the issue.
treated
The
him like
issue
he
is
was.
this. Certain people that Steph play against make him like he don't really get off. But there's certain people that he play against, he really get off.
Yeah.
He get off against them. He had problems against the Rockets. But he'll get off against them. Once they knocked the Rockets off, I was like, oh, he finna have fun with the Trailblazers. He finna have plenty fun with them. And then they took Lillard, they boxed Lillard in.
Yeah.
CJ got off. But Lillard couldn't figure him out.
Nobody got off in the fourth quarter. That's what killed me.
Nobody. So do you think the Warriors' defense is better than their offense? That's what I want to ask.
No, it's just that what they can do better than most teams, that when the last 3 to 4, 5 minutes of the ball game, their execution is flawless
On both sides.
on both sides. The rotation, you look at Draymond, you look at Looney, you look
To
at
me,
the guy-
Draymond is the MVP.
Oh,
I'm
Dra-
going to say
Dre
it, I
that
mean,
dog.
because Draymond is the
MVP
dog
of the team or the playoffs?
Playoffs.
of the team.
Really?
Right?
Period, because you got to have a dog in everything you do, whether it's football, basketball, baseball. It's got to be a dog to just the heartbeat of the team. That's what he is. Even when I watched him lose, his spirit is so like, we're going to get that back. Sometimes they spirit be down, but he be always, oh, it was cool, you know, we whooped-de-whoop. You got to have that dog leadership and the challenge, KD, the challenge Steph, the challenge, like, he's the MVP.
Oh,
to
he
me.
ultimately challenged KD.
'Cause he's
You
a
heard,
dog.
you heard what he told KD?
Come on, man.
Told KD, we won before you got here. And called him, you know what he called
Yeah.
him, Snoop.
And sometimes you need a dog, even though he crossed the line.
Oh, he did cross.
But that's what
Say it
dogs,
again, he did
he
cross the
crossed the
line.
line, but that's what dogs do. That's why you rather have a dog with you than against you. They say you'd rather be running with the dog than running from the dog.
I like to think so.
Well, once Kevin Durant went down, Steph Curry turned back into the best player on the planet.
Steph Curry has been top 5 NBA no matter what KD do. He just allowed that to happen by stepping back after they lost him to LeBron and them in that 3-1 series. He was like, you know what? We do need a big brother that can come over here and handle LeBron and give me some cushion. Because Kevin Durant needed that like they needed that. It was a perfect harmony. It matched together.
That's what they needed. So look, we can let LeBron keep on beating up on both of us, or we can team together to take him down. Because that's what they did this for.
Yeah.
They'd have never did that had it not LeBron beat him. Kevin Durant, no, he couldn't see LeBron on no level.
Nope.
So he's like, you know what? He beat y'all, he beat me, but I don't think he can beat us together.
Yes. And the way they moved the ball and the way they coached, it's like,
Yeah.
it was perfect. But I think that was some great series between Golden State in Cleveland. I'm mad that LeBron came to the West. I really wish he would have stayed in the East because it was like it's not what it is no more.
No, you don't even watch it.
Wait a second. You're mad at LeBron?
I mean, I'm happy he came to us,
No,
but I'm just saying it just don't look like it's
Now it
look.
doesn't.
It don't
Yeah.
look. It looked like Golden State finna just cakewalk.
Because even without KD, what happens against Milwaukee or Toronto?
Easy.
5
or 6 games,
I
it's
agree.
over.
Yep.
Wow, it's going to be that easy.
More
It's
like
gonna be
5.
that easy. It's gonna be that because they're gonna be tired. Those guys are still playing while they at the house eating
Right.
shrimp and
9
chicken.
days off break.
They in Vegas. They in Vegas.
They
They got 4 days off.
They'll be just fine. We can talk about the Warriors, we can talk about Lakers all day, but we also need to talk to you about your Steelers.
Here you go with the
got to.
football
There has
talk. I
been
knew.
a good amount of drama. Soup, we're going to get your take on all of it next.
No mercy.
All right now, everything sounds great with the Steelers. Yesterday, Juju Smith-Schuster said about the team, quote, "The chemistry is on point. Everyone is on the same page. There's really no, how do you say, drama in our locker room." This comes about a week after Juju and other players were hanging out at Ben Roethlisberger's lake house. Well, good for us. Snoop is still here and a huge Steelers fan.
Yes.
So there has been drama, but it sounds like they've possibly turned a page. Do you think they'll actually be better with Le'Veon and AB out of the picture?
That's a tough question, but it's an easy answer. I think we'll definitely be better because I don't remember us winning anything with AB and Le'Veon because we would always get to that point and one of them would be missing. One of them will be missing in action due to injury, infraction, or something. Would always have us like walking with one foot. And we would never beat the Patriots. We couldn't beat the Jags. There's certain people like, why we can't beat these teams that are in the way of us getting to the Super Bowl with this super team and these super athletes? And it never worked out. And I felt like it was something that was broken with the chemistry. And like Juju said, if the chemistry is there now, you got a bunch of hungry kids that got a lot to prove that really don't have nothing to prove because there's nothing there. It's not like they won a Super Bowl. They didn't even get out of the first or second round of the playoffs. So it's like you don't aspire to be nothing but just play your position, do better, and be good and be a team and be organized. And if we're going to win together, we're going to lose together. But we're going to be a team. We're not going to bicker and talk about each other. We're going to be a team, and we're going to hold our locker room accountable. And that's what I think that Mike Tomlin has reeled everything back in and took control of his locker room. And that's the key because it starts with the coach.
That was some insight right there.
But don't you think Mike Tomlin let this get out of hand?
He definitely did. That's why he had to restore order. And to restore order means to let people go because I don't think he could control Le'Veon and Antonio the way he controlled everybody else in the locker room. But they were like veterans. Like, to me, he only want one veteran that he could control, and that's Ben, and let Ben run the show, and then I'll run everything else from there. That's my take on it, looking at it.
So now to the age-old question, can you teach the old dog new tricks? As in Ben Roethlisberger, to me, he is genuinely trying to get better at leading. Maybe you can't learn to lead, maybe you just get born or you're not born, but he seems, in my view, to be trying to figure it out in the wake of AB. Shannon's not really on board with that, doesn't quite trust it, but I believe Ben is trying to gather that locker room back together.
Ben has been given a mirror for the first time. He ain't
That's
never
true.
been given a mirror.
Yeah.
He's been on that level to where nobody's bothered to show him what he looked like. He's just been able to just throw out, and now they was like, okay, Ben, these two guys left and they put a mirror on you. Is it true? And now he had to look in the mirror and say, man, I was disrespectful. I was out of pocket. I do need to work on me. Which is okay because that's what happens. We make mistakes in life, but the point is you have to be genuine about the get back. Because when you fall down, it's the get back that's important. Now, your get back, we're going to be watching you. We're going to watch to see if you're going to be critical with these kids that you got, or you're going to be disrespectful to them, or you're going to have a different attitude about the way you lead. Because your leadership is more key than your winning. Because you can win and have terrible leadership qualities and won't make it to the Hall of Fame. I know some players that just won't get in because of that.
So Skip's I took the Browns. I think the Browns are going to be better than the Steelers this year. He got the Steelers. I know you're a Steelers fan, but what do you think about the Browns?
On paper and on Madden, I'm playing with them. I'm playing with them on Madden.
They got Odell.
I'm playing with them on Madden. Let me just say that. They look good. And what's crazy was, Shannon, I went to the facility last year because I had a show in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I slid by there, and it was a spirit that they had that was like,
Really?
It was different. Like it just felt like, I've been to many facilities before, and that one just felt like they was like on to something. It's before the firing of the coach. It's before that they got it just felt like it was something in the air. And now that they got Odell and Juice playing together and they got a couple of new kids, I'm anxious to see what they're going to do.
But they ain't messing with your Steelers, huh?
I think the Ravens are going to be better than them. Don't sleep on them. They scooped up some pieces, too.
So you got one key piece. You know him well from Long Beach, California, and USC, Juju. This is his time to rise and shine. Shannon again saying, you be careful what you wish for. You're going to be that number one now. Everybody's going to be watching. Can he live up to that new status?
Not overnight, because overnight, that's a lot to look up to. But I feel like he can gradually grow into that role and learn what it feels like to be the number one receiver. You don't know what it feels like to be the number one. You've been the other guy. Now when you're that guy and all schemes are according to you, everything is bracketed to you, you got the best DB on you, you got more coverage on you. Now you're going to have to lose your frustration and stay focused and say, well, if I didn't get a catch this game, so what he did.
Right.
The same way you was when AB wasn't getting catches.
Yeah, see?
So it reversed roles, right?
Yes.
So what's your temperament when the role is reversed?
Now, he's going to get an opportunity, as you mentioned, Snoop, to see the frustration that AB was going through. Because AB's like, man, they rolling coverage to me, and Juju just steady eating. 12 here, 13 catches there, $150
He
here.
got voted MVP
Yeah,
of the team.
and that's eating AB up.
Right.
So what's going to happen now all of a sudden when they roll coverage to Juju and James Washington or Eli Rogers start to eat?
Right.
It's not as easy as you think. It's a big transition going from, okay, I'm in the pack, but now you that lead dog.
I got it. You know what? He's got lead dog in him. We've had him on the show. He sat in that seat, and I've looked in his eyes, and you see depth in his eyes.
But I know this kid. He comes from team. His mother is a strong woman. She teaches team value with his life off the field.
Right.
So that's why he could fall into that role when he first got to Pittsburgh. It's just a matter of, I don't believe it's going to happen overnight because it's a big shock to know that everything is designed for you now. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all for you now. Like, all the defenses and coverages. When you play the Patriots week one, trust me, Belichick gonna give you an introduction on what it feel like.
Oh, he always taking away your best player.
That's off the top. So you gotta know that this is gonna prepare you for the rest of your career week one. I'm glad they gave us the Patriots week one.
Really?
Yeah.
But you want that L to start the season?
I wanna see what we made of.
You know what? You're made of the right stuff. And I already went on record. I told you, they're going to go up there and win that game.
I think
they're
so,
going to
too.
go win that
Skip,
game.
I believe. Give me some on that one. I believe you,
you go.
Skip.
Yeah, I believe you done gave some Skip earlier because he got to be on something. If you think he gonna go to New England, man, Skip, you know New England don't lose like that.
But they won the Super
You
Bowl,
saw
so
what
they're
Kansas City
festive.
did to them 2 years ago?
They're festive.
Yeah,
Still
so they still celebrate.
Yeah, you know
Man,
that.
you know the Patriots, they celebrate for like a week. Then after that, they start back in football. Bill
Remember
Belichick.
what Alex Smith did to them 2 years ago on opening Thursday night
Yeah,
up there?
but and Tyreek and
Yeah, they went
Kareem
to
Hunt.
work, yeah.
They went to
Too
work.
much speed.
Yeah.
Tom
You know
will be
what?
ready.
James Washington can fly, and
Yes.
he's going to rise and shine. And they got Dante Moncrief.
But you
and
didn't talk
Eli
about
Rogers.
James Conner.
Okay, well, obviously, he filled in.
Conner
just-
did a great job
Yeah.
filling in for Bell. He did a great job, but now he's got to know that's your job now.
Yeah.
Like, that you was just the substitute teacher.
Oh, he got the job?
That's your class now, buddy. And there's students coming up here all day, every day, trying to holler at you.
And by the way, your backup, Jalen Samuels, ran for 142 against the Patriots last year.
I like him.
I do
38, I like him.
You just like the Steelers, Snoop. you swear they're gonna be in Miami for the Super Bowl this year. That's what you tried.
I
That's
might
what
not
you
go
tried to
that far.
part.
Come on, Shannon, we got to get back home again, man. Tom Brady done caught us all by himself. He got 6 of them.
All by himself.
And you know, he gave me one time I took a picture with all his rings. He put them all in my hand. I just did like this.
How'd it feel?
I was frustrated.
So how many more years does he play at this level?
Honestly, I'm going to say this and I'm going to mean this. Tom Brady is probably one of the greatest football players that I've ever seen in my life after 40. I've never seen nobody at this age. Flutie Flakes was cool when he got to 40. I ain't going to front. Flutie Flakes was cold. But this Tom Brady, I mean, he just gets better and better and better. He ain't fast. He's precise. He's smart. He picks you apart. He knows how to bring his team up. He's never overexcited. He's just like, his temperament is just, I would love to play with Tom Brady if I was a wide receiver.
I would too, but not with New England, because Coach Belichick he gonna cut my
got rules
catch.
and
He got too many rules and regulations for me. No laughing, no joking. You football all the time, Snoop. Snoop, you can't play in that
No,
environment.
not in that environment. No.
I don't know if that would have fit for either.
So
of
I
you
made
guys.
the case that I think the underdog MVP is going to become the MVP, and that's your man, Ben Roethlisberger. I think he's going to come out of nowhere and have a big bounce back this year. He put up big numbers last year. I'm talking about winning numbers.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes, is he you think he's the odds-on to win the MVP?
I like him.
Yeah.
I can't even front. I like his grit. I like his get down. Like, he's just different. Like, to me, I wish more quarterbacks had what he has in him. He hate to lose. When he on the field, he trying to get money. I like quarterbacks that like to get money. I hate quarterbacks that depend on the coach, that don't know what the game is about, that don't have a high IQ, that's like, when we got a lead, we're going to be running the ball. No, put your foot on his neck, get 50 points, and blow him out. I love his demeanor. His spirit is like, he going to get him a Super Bowl before it's over with.
Yep.
When Brady leave, he getting him one.
Well,
Oh, he gonna get it before Brady leave, huh?
No.
Well, hold on. If he ain't gonna get one, so how y'all gonna get one?
He get one after us. We let him get one once we get 7.
That's the order?
Yeah, in that order.
All right. Good stuff. We've got more to get to.
We got a lot.
Drake has been annoying a lot of
Drake.
people
Talk
lately,
about
Snoop.
this.
I want to get your take on what he's been
Super
doing.
fan.
Super fan. He's basically on the team, so we'll talk about that next.
No mercy.
Well, Drake, he upset a lot of people this week with his antics on the sidelines in Toronto. He trolled the Greek Freak and gave his coach a massage, which is interesting. Bucks coach Mike Budenholzer wasn't thrilled, saying there's no place for non-players or coaches to ever be on the court. And one of Giannis's reps called Drake disrespectful. Drake laughed off all the hate by calling the Bucks salty on Instagram. All right, Snoop. Whose side are you on here?
Be 100 with it, Snoop.
Yeah.
Bucks or Drake?
This is funny to me, man. Because normally when Drake wears the team logo, they lose.
They kick that in.
Doesn't have a good record.
But they winning now, so I'm kind of happy for Drake. I'm happy he doing his thing and he on the sideline, you know what I'm saying, having fun. Because, you know, when your team is winning, like as a super fan, this is what you do, you know what I'm saying? And he got the accessibility because he's right there on the court, and basketball is one of those sports where you can, you know, chime in and whatnot. He is famous, so they know what he's about. So to me, it makes the game, you know, more fun to watch him out there doing that.
Did you hear that?
Can you imagine if Jack was doing that in the 80s and the 90s, carrying on like that, Snoop?
Nah, Jack Nicholson.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
little bit different, though. That's
What about Spike?
Spike was doing that.
Spike, what other? Man,
Remember when Spike and Reggie was getting into it?
yeah, but Spike was sitting down.
True. But it's levels. I think that the new era is more boisterous, and we're watching the new era of kids that just, you know, they speak their mind and they do what they want to do.
Man, that joke, he P. Diddy, all in everybody shot.
He
I'm
did.
trying to watch the game, he all in everybody shot. Yeah.
Give him
He was,
massages.
yeah, come on, Snoop. Now, you know that's too far, Snoop.
I love it. Get it, Drake. Get it done, nephew.
By the way, you don't see Spike because Spike is sitting opposite side, so the cameras are
Right.
facing away. See,
Right.
they're facing the
But then you
bench
put him
side.
on the opposite side then.
Drake want that camera action.
Thank you.
He want
knows.
that action, Jack.
And by the way, Spike stands up the whole game. Now, he's not the tallest man in the world to start with, but he's standing up over there going crazy, but you don't see it because
Right.
he's not in full view of the camera because he's not positioned right near the Raptors bench, or in his case, the
I
Knicks
think
bench.
the
He's next to the scorer's table.
Raptors is a part of that too. Don't get it messed up. They are a part of, like, let's make sure Drake's seat is right here in the middle of the traffic zone.
It's true. They put him
Because
there.
he's right by the traffic zone where you gotta walk past him, you gotta see him. Like,
Checking in and out of the
come
game.
on, man. They know what they
Do
doing.
you realize what Jack Nicholson was doing through the 80s, through the Showtime era?
Yeah.
He's positioned right by the visiting bench, and every time they pass by, he's giving them earfuls.
Yeah.
And he could talk some serious trash. He could get in people's heads. But he's doing it in this tone of voice about right
And Jack
here.
doing it like this while he said, you guys ain't nothing. You guys ain't gonna win the game. I don't even know why you came out here. You're wasting your time out here. He's sitting back in his spot. He's chilling, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, Drake carrying on. He running up and down the sidelines. He almost on the
Well,
court.
remember, Drake is an actor, too.
He
So
does
this,
it all.
this is an acting moment for him. He's getting
is.
his act on as well. He's
Yeah.
maximizing his moments.
Yeah, and Shannon, he effectively works for the team.
Yes.
He's part of the masthead
Yes.
of the team. He is their official employed ambassador. I don't know if they actually pay him any money.
In other words, he's a super fan. That's what they call it now. They call
It's
it
the
ambassadorship.
adventures of Superfan.
Snoop, okay, The Lakers position you. You right next to. You gonna be carried on like that, Snoop?
I'm in the booth, man. They got me a box. I'm watching from up top. You understand me? Now, when I'm on the floor, I know how to handle myself. I control myself because I don't want to rub nobody the wrong way.
Right.
Because I'm going to see some of these players out in public, and I know that they're doing their job, and I would hate for them to do me like that when I'm doing my job. I'm just a fan. I'm enjoying the game. It's not that serious.
You hear that, Skip?
I hear it until Giannis airballs a free throw, and then he is fair game.
He is.
I'm sorry. You can clown him.
Skip, you right.
You can troll him.
Now, when you do that, when you violate in your sport, you're going to get violated.
This is a big playoff, a turning point playoff game, and you airball for the second time. And if he wants to windmill it,
I mean, come on, Skip. You see, he over the top with it. The guys walking by, he clapping in their face.
Loves it.
See, that where I'm from, that could get you punched.
Thank you.
I'm just saying, like.
What the guy do to brush you
on
off?
the accident, you can get that or this, or I'm going to fall into you. Anything can happen.
Hey, throw the ball over my head.
Man, please.
I'm going to go
get.
Yeah, exactly. See? Told you, Skip.
okay, fine. But did he rub the shoulders of Budenholzer? No, it was his coach.
What they do that at, Snoop?
Okay.
This ain't no Thai massage parlor. We'll be carried on like this, Skip.
He's an entertainer by definition. That's what he does for a living,
Right.
and that was highly, wildly entertaining.
Well, I'm sure they'd love to see him perform at the halftime show.
Yeah, well, they would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially if they're in the finals.
Then they gonna be there.
Okay, did what he did to Nick Nurse distract the Bucks? No.
No.
Did it give them a home court advantage? No. Come on. Seriously?
This is weird.
When I watch the game, I'm really not trying to see who's in it. Like, oh, if you want to pan, there's Denzel.
Right.
Oh, there's such and such.
Right.
Look at Snoop.
Right.
Oh, there's Samuel Jackson. Okay, I get that. But this dude all up in the video, Skip. I mean, I'm trying to see the coach in here. He photobombing. Come on, man. Get out of people's shot. This ain't a two-shot. It's a single. So I'm looking to see the head coach.
Has he not earned the right
No,
to do that?
no,
Yes, he
no,
has.
no, no, no.
He's the six. He's the voice of the six right now as far as entertainment. Like, he's the reason why Toronto is known entertainment-wise outside of Canada. He is the voice of that. He is the reason for that. And at the same time, that carries weight when he goes back to Toronto. And
I'm going to change my opinion. He let me get on that big old business Boeing jet. He let me get on that big old jet.
That jet he got, that 187 million? I think we both can ride on that.
Show you
Easy.
I think
And we can have Skip
both
on there
might
with
be
it.
riding on it as we speak right now. Right?
Flying the friendly skies, Skip.
Oh, my
Yeah, I think so.
That's that
Here's
problem.
the- That's
got
the
that
mothership
stuff.
connection.
So I got to bring up one sore spot for me, and we are going to be on the opposite sides of this fence, but you were seen performing in Toronto recently in a number 2 jersey.
Yeah,
I'm not a
Kawhi.
big fan of number 2 because he quit on my Spurs.
He did?
Yes, he did. He just flat out just mailed
Have
it
you
in
talked
for
to
the
him?
whole year. Nobody's ever talked
I
to him,
have.
I don't think. Have you really? And?
And I don't believe it was a quit. I believe it was a lot of disrespect in that locker room towards him for what he done to that organization. That man brought y'all a championship. That man locked up LeBron James. That man done some things that
Whoa.
I mean-
You lock him up. LeBron had 28-7.
they didn't win.
They didn't win. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
see, now he pushed your button.
Yeah, they didn't win.
So, but he
LeBron won.
But I'm saying, though, he was a baby then.
Yeah.
Nobody knew about him. It was,
He had a
it was
little help.
Duncan team.
It was
that was
Duncan's
Tim
team and
Duncan's
Ginobili's team.
And Manu Ginobili and Parker, but he was the shining star.
Yep.
So with that being said, when he did that, and then he took that injury, he was hearing all kind of stuff that shouldn't have been said. And remember, he's a kid. He's not fully grown yet. He's not 30-something years old, understanding he's a kid. So when you're hearing this as a kid, you take it the wrong way, you rub the wrong way, and as a kid, sometimes you don't forgive and you don't forget. But as an adult, we can forgive and forget.
Right.
But as a kid, you don't. And he took it the wrong way, and he was like, you know what?
I told Skip, we had the conversation. I said, when Tony Parker said that, I said, it'll never be the same. I said, he done. He
Okay,
gone.
but Tony Parker he ruptured his quad, and
can
he
keep
said
your mouth
his
shut.
injury was 100 times
But you
worse.
can't, like, if we a team, like, if we together, don't speak on me.
The media, yeah.
Speak to me.
Hey, remember, they'd already put him on the hot seat in a closed-door meeting and said, are you
I'm
with
the
us
reason.
or not?
I'm the reason why y'all gonna win another championship. Don't talk to me like this. You talk to me like this, I'm out and y'all never get back
Right,
in.
well,
and-
then he was the reason they
and,
didn't
and
win.
guess where they at now? Guess what San Antonio
First
at
round
home,
exit.
and guess what he at? Still playing
Yeah.
with less help,
And
just to prove to them that, hey, look here, man, y'all lost this thing right here. If I'd have still been in San Antonio, we could have probably won the
They'd have been
West.
playing Golden State.
And by the way, he is still limping through games, and he is still contending. He is hurt, while his medical staff says, we find nothing wrong
He's
with
hurt.
you.
You can see it.
Thank
You can see it, Skip.
I
You
don't
see
see
that.
Hurt.
I saw him score 19 with 4 steals the
But
other night.
if you watch certain plays that he do, he'll give you the limp on certain plays, and then
He
when he get the
does.
ball, the limp is
Yeah.
gone. You know that. When we get the ball, we don't hurt no more. I'm the same. I'm the same way when I'm playing. If I'm injured, I'm injured on defense. But when I get the ball, the injury is gone. It's like it disappeared.
So no defense.
He's carrying a lot of weight, though, because he had to guard Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler in the last series, playing 40 minutes, and now he's got Giannis. And then Giannis is going to be the MVP. So he gets no rest on offense or defense.
Thank you. That's the key, and he plays both. Now, I can talk about some MVPs and some peoples that have been mentioned as this and that, but they don't play both sides of the ball. That man plays both sides of the ball
best at
every game, and they never see him take a play off.
Never.
And he always take the best guy. To me, he's the Deion Sanders of basketball. Who's the best guy on the team? Him, I got him.
Lock him down.
Watch out, I got him.
I'm glad we got your take on Kawhi. I wish we could keep you here all day, every day.
I'm just
Well, why don't y'all
getting
hire
All
me?
day, every day.
I want what he get and what he get, just a smaller portion.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for joining us, Snoop. We'll see you soon. We'll be right
Thank
back with
y'all.
more.
Thanks, dog.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. Michigan named Juwan Howard their new head coach yesterday. He played for Michigan's Fab Five back in the 90s and was an assistant coach with the Miami Heat. So, Shannon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good is this hire?
I think it's an 8. I'm going to give it an 8. I think it's a good hire. He's put his time in the NBA, Skip, on the sidelines. I don't know what type of coach he'll be in college. Coaching grown men as opposed to, teenagers is something different.
Yep.
But I think he's learned enough. He's been around, Pat Riley long enough. He's played the game at a high level.
He did.
So I think he'll be very good.
I'm going to go 7. He is one of the all-time great human beings, and he will represent the University of Michigan at the highest
Yes.
level. And when you get endorsed by LeBron and D. Wade, that will play, that will resonate.
And what does LeBron and D. Wade have? They have boys. And what do they boys do? They play basketball.
I don't know if they'll wind up at Michigan,
I
but
mean,
it's got potential.
Yeah,
anyway,
Bronny
right?
probably end up at Duke.
Yep.
And Zaire.
You got it. But in the end, the biggest question is, can Juwan coach college basketball?
Yes.
And there's no way to know that, which is why this is a little bit risky, just a little bit.
Right.
Okay.
Because he's replacing a man who could really coach college basketball.
12 years, and he went to a couple of Final Fours. He didn't win,
And
but
before that at West Virginia, he
Yeah.
was really good. Well,
There's a lot there.
yeah, I like the hire.
All right,
think
let's
it's
get to
good.
Big Ten. Well, guys, good show. So much fun. Snoop
Snoop!
was here.
Snoop!
We talked
he
about
took
Drake.
the show over.
I'm afraid he could replace me. I got to pick up my
You
game.
got to go utilize some of those products.
Yeah.
Good luck, Shannon.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.